All right. I'm live. I'm live. Okay. So it's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. It's Friday. That's a good thing. It's Friday. So, I took my. Okay, there it is. I was like, what did I do with it? All right, y'all. It's Friday, so I gotta. I'm gonna be busy. I got stuff to do while I'm talking. So I'll come on camera later if if there's. Ooh, I gotta get my husband to give me the dish liquid. Damn. Damn. I guess. Do I have any Miss Myers left? Shit. Damn it, man. Damn it, man. Okay, let me go get the dish liquid. Let me go get it. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm gonna have to use another one. So anyway, so it's a lot going on, but today is Friday session. Today is Friday session. Let me see if I can. I'm in the garage. Let me see if I can find some damn dish liquid. He's the keeper of dish liquid. He buys it in bulk. Okay, here goes some dish liquid. What is that? It's Sun. I'll use that. You want anything? We got her in the garage. You got a whole damn loads up in that mug. Any kind of paint, spray paint, tools, you got it. Anyhow, today is Friday confession. 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 What are we serving at the bar? What is the special tonight? It is Bacardi and what? Coke. That's what's on the bar menu. Hey everybody. What's up, DLD? What's going on? All right. So today is Friday confession. And what I want to talk about is whatever y'all want to talk about. So what is the point of Friday session? What is the purpose of Friday session service? What is the purpose of Friday service? Well, it is so that people can set their soul free. People be doing all kind of shit and they need to be free, right? We gotta tell it. Tell what you did. Tell what you want to do. Tell everything you done got into. That's what it's about. It's a humbling experience to come forth and tell it. Okay? Everybody ain't ready, everybody ain't capable, it's okay. But let that be one of your ambitions in life to just tell it. Okay? Tell it like it is. Tell the truth. We're in a culture. That's what I want to do. I want to change the culture. We're in a culture of liars and hiders and fake it till you make it. Let's get real. Let's tell it like it is. Tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil, they say. So anyway, I'm here. What's up, Gabe? Hey, that's what I'm about. I'm about changing the culture. Can y'all hear me okay? And so I want to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. But I'll just start off by just in general, and then I'll say my own little confession. Because I always have a confession. I can't be asking folks to do stuff I'm not willing to do. Last time I talked about my ADHD and how I had a goddamn fit because I'm not really functional without a list, which is a strange way to be. But it's my truth, right? I'm going to stand up in it. I'm going to stand up in it, goddamn it. Okay? But it's been so much going on. So I just want to start off with the world is wild. Supreme Court has said that basically the judges have limited ability to stop nationwide injunctions. That means they can't stop Trump or whoever is calling himself king from doing what he want to do nationwide. It's going to be a case by case basis. This is very interesting because what they're saying is that when this birthright situation comes up, who is birthright citizen? Who is that? Is it one parent, both parents, legal, illegal? Who's birthright? Interesting. This is going to be very interesting. But that's out there. I'm not talking about it today. That's something that happened new. But what I will say, oh, y'all can hear me good, good, good. But what I want to talk about today is power dynamics, confessions. I take any kind of confession. You didn't stole something, did something. It's okay. We can talk about it. So it don't have to be about what I'm talking about. I'll put my stuff on pause for whoever want to confess, whoever want to talk, who want to tell it. That's what this is about. Coming clean, setting your soul free. Okay. Whew, I'm getting jiggy with it, y'all. I'm getting jiggy with it. But I really do. I believe in the power of setting yourself free. I believe in that. Getting that stuff off your chest. Even if it's petty, even if it's small. We'll take one, we'll take all. But this is my thing I'm thinking about. And I have dropped the link. Y'all got to let me know if y'all pull up. But I'm open to all topics. I want to say that. I am open to all topics. I'm moving around, so forgive me if I don't pay attention immediately at that second. But y'all, this is the thing. I want to just tell you where this is my confession. It's not like I don't want to come on the internet and tell everything. Like, you're supposed to have things that are quiet, private. Everybody don't need to know everything. But one of the things that came up for me on the internet is when I go in certain spaces and places, these folks be trying to talk crazy to me. They be trying to talk crazy to me. They actually, for some reason, believe that they know who you are, how you function, what makes you tick. They want to just spell out your whole personality and your life for some reason because you type in a couple of things on the internet. I think that's interesting. I really do. But one of the things that has come across for me, because I actually have an opinion and I tend to express it, one of the things that's come across on the internet, and I've invited Indigo Flow. I should say that I invited Indigo Flow because they got so much mouth. I was over there in Mr. Z's channel just a little while ago, and I usually just look and laugh and shit. I think folks is funny. All the victimhood, this shit is hilarious. All these stories they make up when all you got to do is make better decisions. All you got to do is make better choices, baby. It's real simple. It ain't hard. But they said they like to have complaining sessions and they cry. And I just find it funny. They're not the only ones. I have lots of people who I watch. I have this one thing called No White Guilt. And I sit there and I watch this white man cry and tell all these narratives about how the blacks and the so and so's is causing his downfall. I think he's equally as funny. No White Guilt. I be listening to these folks crying and complaining. I do. I ain't gonna lie. I guess I'm entertained because I do believe that people have choices in everything. You have choices in what you expose yourself to, what you deal with. I think it's personal responsibility. So I really believe, especially in the power of manifestation, that whatever you are facing is something that you have chosen unconsciously. You have chosen subconsciously. You have chosen that. You like that shit because you keep showing up for it. So I absolutely do find it hilarious to see these people in their narratives. But anyway, I get to my point. So Mr. Z, he's over there talking about, I'm entertaining myself laughing at the little, cry sessions. I like all kind of cry sessions. I'm entertained by the narratives, the false narratives and the shaming and blaming and all that. I'm entertained. I ain't gonna lie. I think this shit's hilarious. All they gotta do is just fix one thing in themselves. They say if you don't like something, the only person to fix it is who? You, boo boo. You. And so that's why I'm entertained by people who choose non-empowerment. I'm entertained by it. I have to explain that because I don't know if some people understand. But anyway, Bacardi and Coke is the choice today. So let me see what it said. You said my confession is I also enjoy listening to dudes crying and whining. Ain't it something? Ain't it something? The stories they tell. You said I have a choppy sound coming from my mic. Let me switch. Let me switch. Hold up. Let me switch my mic. Let me try another one. Okay, let me know. Let me know if my sound does it sound better now? Does it sound better now? Does it sound better now? So yeah, you get it, Gabe. It's funny laughing at unempowered people trying to pretend that they don't get choices, that they're forced. I have no choices. I'm forced into this. I can't do what I want to do. No, 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 no. No, no, no. You refuse to do what you're supposed to do. And that's why. So anyway, I get back to the point of what I'm saying. Let me see if my mic sounds okay. Let me see. Better. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I got the same, I bought like five of the same earplugs, but for some reason they all operate at a different level. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm drinking my Bacardi and Coke. Yeah, I just recently started uh, drinking my liqueur. For the longest time, I guess it's like 9 years now. But when I first had, after having my daughter, I guess I hadn't been drinking for a while, so I had lost the taste for it. But yeah, I love Bacardi. When I was in my 30s, boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. Man, I blow the bar up with Bacardi and Coke. Anyway, but yeah, let me tell you about what these fools do. They, for some reason, believe that they understand the nature of people. So they start trying to tell you about yourself. Let me just say it like this. When I go in certain spaces and places, you know, questions, because they want to prove that, they want to do the Kevin Samuels thing. They ask a bunch of questions and try to prove you ain't this or you ain't that. That's the goal, really, if we're honest. Well, how old are you? Well, why ain't you married? You know, like that proves something, like that gives you a value as a person or something. So that's what they do. They start asking me all these stupid ass questions or challenging me, trying to throw me off my conversation or what I'm saying. That shit don't relate to nothing I'm talking about. And I go over and I don't be over there all the time, y'all. I have a season when I like to mess with them. This is a season. And then I go disappear and do something else. It's a season, a short spell. I go mess with BGS and whoever else, talk a little shit and leave them alone. I'm not that interested. I just think they're fun. I just think they're fun. So that's what I do. And so I guess I'm in that season right now. But yeah, when I go over there, it's always the same thing. Where your man at? Oh, you ain't married. You ain't married. Try to downgrade and low grade you and shit. Where your man? They look to disqualify every person but themselves. Exactly. Where your man? Why your man don't care? All this type of bullshit. Okay, absolutely. And so when they first start asking, how old are you? They want to do that. Oh, you're not married. Oh, you're single. Why you single? Don't nobody want you? You and Keisha, how many kids you got? All that kind of stuff. So I know the little game they play. I know the little game they play. I'm not worried about it because I am a self-empowered person, and my value does not come. I know their value does come from the internet. My value as a person is in my function, which I've been doing for a long time. Like y'all, your value. You didn't come online to actually be somebody and have some friends and shit and get approval from people. If I wanted approval from people, I wouldn't act like I do. If I'm honest, I would not act like I do if I actually wanted some friends and people to like me. I would not come online acting like I do. And y'all know what I mean. Okay? So clearly I'm not after that. I'm here to entertain myself. So anyway, they do this whole thing. And what kills me about it, gotta polish my I gotta polish my utensils here. Watch out now. Knock stuff over. So what they do is they start saying, this is the part that kills me. Now they want to, downgrade me and say stuff like, you could never be a submissive woman. I feel sorry for your husband. I'll be like, here we go. Here we go. Now, what gives you the authority? See, this is where that common sense kick in. What gives you the authority to determine or decide how you think I behave online determines what kind of quality of a person or a wife I am or what kind of husband I have. And I was listening to, not listening, I was listening to BGS, and he likes to have back and forth with me because let's be honest, BGS is bored. Why is he bored? Because it's boring to have your cock sucked all the time. Do y'all know that? People think having your cock sucked all the time is a really good thing. No, it starts to get annoying. I know this. Not because I have a cock, but I'm just saying it's clear that the sensation goes away, right? You get bored with it. You don't want nobody sucking your cock all the time. A cock being sucked is good because it happens spontaneously sometimes, not every day. But he's getting his cock sucked by how many different men every day? And I don't mean this in a gay derogatory way. I'm just saying you got people who let me change it from cocks. 'Cause I don't want to sound like I'm calling the men gay. I ain't calling him gay. But if you constantly have people kissing up to you, worshiping you, everything you say is God, you can play games with them. You can have fun. You can just change what you said just to see if they'll go with it. And I see him do that. That shit should be entertaining. Let me say the sun is green. Yes, master teacher, the sun is green. Okay, now if I say the sun is purple, let's see what they're gonna do. The sun is purple, my sons. Yes, master. Yes, master teacher. The sun is purple. You see how boring that can get? They just kiss your ass every which way. Nobody actually challenges you, and when you do, your ego won't allow them to challenge you, so you cut them down. You talk to them like a dog. You insult them. What did he say the other day? You're gonna make me go evil on you. he said, oh shit. He said, you're gonna make me go evil on you. Like, hell to the no. He said, let me say it again. You gonna make me go evil on you. All right, let me see what Gabe said. You see what you said? He said they called me the educated lame by that group. As if education and lame are equivalent. I know. Educate. They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't. The people who are studied, the people who invest, the people who are smart, those are the people who make the world go round. Not the cool kids. But that doesn't make you lame. I don't want to be a cool kid, right? I don't need that. That don't feed me. Being liked by people. You know why? I take a compliment and I take a disrespect with the equal enthusiasm. Why? Because it doesn't fucking matter. People will like you today, you say something they don't like, they don't like your ass tomorrow. You can't people please. There's no point. I do not want uh, agreement from people. I don't need people to agree with or like me. And when you're a strong person, you don't need people to agree or like you. You just don't. Right? He doesn't respect the people. That's right. He doesn't. He does not respect people. So BGS, he is kind of entertained by being worshipped. But see, being worshipped gets lonely. It gets lonely. It gets boring. It gets mundane. You get to the point where you almost are agitated, I would say. Probably agitated. That's probably the best word, agitated. I think he's probably agitated by them people. Because it's almost like you get to the point where you kind of almost don't have a soul. Your will is completely tied to somebody else and being part of a group. That group think. I think a lot of cult leaders, and I'm gonna call them the cult leaders, goddamn cult leaders. I think a lot of cult leaders don't like the people, and that's why eventually they start abusing their ass. They start kicking their ass, start talking shit to them, start taking their money. They start exploiting them because you don't respect that shit. You respect somebody who got a mind of their own, a will of their own. You respect that shit, right? And so that's what I'm gonna talk about today. These um these goddamn incels, the shit they be saying to me. And so that's what I'm gonna do my confession about. And I'm not gonna talk nasty because I'm not here to talk nasty. But I do want to share this because I think people need to think about what you see online is not what you necessarily get. I must emphasize you do not know people. You can't assume things about people. You think you know, but you have no idea who people really are in their private life. You only get a fragment of what they want you to see online. And I'm a challenge. I'm a challenge. I'm gonna challenge BGS on that. I'm gonna definitely challenge him on that because he's teaching these fools that they need, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm gonna bridge my own situation to how that doesn't work. This whole idea of power dynamics in relationships, that shit can't work with broken men. That's my point. That's what I want to illustrate today. These men talk shit to me. Let me go full circle. Number one, these niggas talk shit to me. You must be running your husband down. You probably talk to him like a dog. You berate. You wear the pants in the house. All the stuff they say about me in the comments, in the chat. You are clearly one of them mean feminists that abuse black men and all this and that. Oh my God. Do y'all know how many times I've been called a black male worshiper? A fucking mammy? What radio station are you tuned into, Negroes? Over there? I'm trying to figure this out. They don't pay attention to me. They just like to try to harass me when I come over there. That's all. Because if they paid any attention to me, they know they saying a damn fucking lie. It's a goddamn lie. Plain and simple, flat out. I do not hate black men. I hold black men in high regard. Not all black men, though. And see, I have the ability to ignore those which I do not like and do not think are worthy. They don't do that. I don't pay black men who don't meet basic standards of like decency. I don't pay them no mind. I give them no attention. I don't even be around people like that. Out of sight, out of mind. Plain and simple. They can't do that. They see every hood rat, ratchet broad, prostitute. They want to see all of it. And they want to consider that as part of their problems. I don't know why you would choose to look at deranged and crazy women as part of your damn problem. And it's even part of your consciousness. That part I don't get. But anyway, let me not go far. Let me still go back to what I was saying. So these men try to persecute me and tell me, you can't be a good wife. You're not married. You know how many of them told me I'm not married? I don't believe she's married. Indigo Flow is one of them. Piece of shit, Indigo Flow. Pull your ass up, Negro. Pull up. I want to talk to you. Get you straight. Get you together. That woman doesn't have a submissive bone in her body. She probably bossing her husband around. He's probably miserable. I know he wants a divorce. Oh, they got so much to say about Miss May May. All unfounded, all untrue. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? But I do believe that BGS likes to engage with me because he needs somebody to stop worshiping his ass just for 5 minutes so he can feel like a normal person. So that's partly why I go over there. I'm helping him out, get his blood pressure up, give him a chance to sharpen his steel. Sharpen his steel because he's getting rusty when you deal with a whole bunch of worshipers, right? Nobody ever challenges. They don't get you to think about something new from a different perspective. Whatever you say, Master Teacher, you are the one who's right. You always right. You know everything, Master Teacher. But this is the thing I want to say. They got me all pegged wrong. And like I said, I'm not going to get into no kinky conversation. Don't worry, y'all. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not on here to be wild and expose and get no attention. That's not my goal. I want to be clear about that. Ain't nobody thirsty. But I do want to dispel the myth. I want to talk about, and I want to bridge it to talk about the reality of power dynamics in relationships. I think it's important. And so I may do a more formal exploration of it and put it under a playlist called Power Dynamics Between Men and Women. I think that's what I'm doing because I have a series on marriage. So I take the ideas pretty seriously. In real life, I actually take it seriously. But I just think it's funny they try to paint a picture of me as some big mean, bulldog who's this and that and da da da. And I got this. Oh my God, the insults they have towards my husband. Oh my God. Oh, he's probably a simp. He's getting beat up. I bet you whoop his ass. Oh my God, y'all have no idea. I find this shit entertaining. Y'all can look at any comments where Miss May May showed up over there at Mr. BGS's place. You can look at any of them comments. Boy, they got me. They got me and my husband pegged. Boy, I'm whooping his ass. They say. They say I'm whipping his ass. They say I'm bossing him around. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm demeaning him. They don't know nothing about my relationship, and I find it absolutely entertaining, hilarious. Goddamn it! Oh shit, BGS. Uh oh. Oh, what are you talking about now? Oh wow, I didn't know you was gonna show up. I didn't know. Oh my. Ah, I am talking about the fact that your crowd is so delusional. They do not understand. I'm gonna talk about the power dynamic. That's what I'm gonna talk about, BGS. And I'm gonna submit to you that your guys, and this is something that's crazy that you're trying to teach them that women are supposed to submit and they are not worthy of submission. That's what I'm gonna go with it eventually. But I have to tell you, I am opposite of what they say. Your dudes, your children, they like to say that I'm beating my husband and I'm bossy and I'm mean and I'm this and I'm that and I'm disrespectful, but they don't know anything about me. And I just want to talk about that today because I actually have a power dynamics in my relationship that is not for the public, but since everybody wants to criticize me, I figured I might just bridge the conversation and talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. And your dudes, they don't know anything about submission and domination. They know nothing, BGF. They know nothing. And you have failed to teach them. I will submit that to you. You have failed to teach them about real power dynamics between men and women. Because these dudes think that they supposed to just walk up to some random woman or some woman they dating and all of a sudden she just turns submissive. Yeah, you're going to have to go to a third world poor ass country for that. No doubt. No doubt. Because real women with some common sense and actual choices in life, they're not going to do that because that would be foolish. That would be foolish. You don't just hand your submission over to some random short term dude that just wants to exploit and explore your body and your mind and play with you and toss you aside. That's not how this works. I have been practicing submission and domination for 20 years, sir. That's what your crowd don't know nothing about me. You can't tell from the way a woman talks. You even said that, BGF. Oh, you don't even sound like you have been had a patriarchy. Patriarchy failed you and da 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 da. Y'all have no idea. None. And I'm not on here trying to do no what you call it? No pick me dance or no shit like that. I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm confessing on Friday. It's Friday session. I'm confessing. I actually am in and have been. I shared a post earlier. I have been in a dom sub relationship in my marriage. And I wouldn't say it started there per se. I wouldn't say it started there. Why y'all think I got married at 17 to an older man? What you think this is? I mean, I have to spell it out. That's my natural state as a woman. Me, not all women. That is my natural state. I follow the leadership of a well established, purposeful man. That's not for all women. I know that, especially in this modern era. But y'all think that these women are supposed to be immediately giving in their will to y'all, and y'all supposed to be bossing and mean and all this other stuff. BJs, y'all have not taught men about submission and domination, what it actually is, how that actually works. I don't even think y'all actually even know. I think I would submit that y'all men don't even, y'all particular group, y'all don't know what it is. And I would actually say y'all not worthy of that type of shit. Based on the way y'all talk about women. Y'all not worthy of it. Y'all not worthy of it. Y'all can never have that shit. A relationship, y'all have to go abroad. A relationship where a woman trusts your thoughts. She trusts your intuition. She follows you because she knows that you're smart and you're gonna make the right choices and you're gonna make the right decisions, right? That you have mastery over the space and time, the ins and outs of the relationship. Trust, trust, trust. They don't talk about trust. They don't talk about respect. They don't talk about boundaries. They talk mostly about blame. So I know they don't know. I know they don't know. They don't know shit. And you ain't teaching them nothing. You teaching them they supposed to go on a date with a bitch and she's supposed to just bow down and kiss their ass. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. And so I'm gonna talk about the science of it. I'm gonna talk about the science. And bitches, if you want to pull up, you can. I'm not gonna do you like you do me. Cut you off at everything and go into some long tirade about something that happened in the 1600s. I'm not gonna do you like you do me. I'm gonna respect you. I know how to do that. You don't want me to talk because you don't want me to sound like I got any sense at all. You want to cut me off so I look crazy and deranged. Oh, you said drop the link. I thought I did drop the link. Let me try it again. Copy. I thought the link was there. I'm on one. I ain't on nothing. Talk to me, BGS. Talk to me. Tell me what you think. I ain't gonna interrupt you, but don't start talking about no 1700s. Don't nobody want to hear about no 1700s. I don't hear nothing about no damn Moynihan report. I don't hear none of that shit. I want to hear what you got to say. Cause y'all make all these assumptions about me. Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea. I dropped the link. I dropped the link. I'm open to listen to people. I don't got to be right. I'm open. But I'm not going to sit there and let y'all lie on me. Keep talking that shit about me. That's not true. That is so far from the truth. And even if it wasn't the truth, it would be okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, we got two people. All right.
Uh-oh.
Hold
I thought it
on.
was just me. I just put the, oh my god. I dropped down. I'll let y'all talk because he
No, no, you can stay. It's up to you.
all right.
Why not?
You on mute.
How, how,
Because he's insufferable. It's very difficult to talk to him. I was coming to talk to you.
then just drop down,
This ain't
man.
your platform. This ain't your platform. You
Oh,
ain't
okay, well
you
I'll
know.
leave then. If you're gonna be, I'll
Hold
leave.
on. Wait,
Okay.
BGS. Hold on. Hold on.
No,
Uh,
basically we don't like each other. So basically, he's gonna be up here. He's
I
gonna
don't
start
know
going in.
you to like you or
I,
dislike you.
I
So
know
I
you.
don't
I
even
know you
know.
enough not to like you. Okay, I
You
don't
don't
like
know me
you.
enough to
I
listen.
do.
You don't
I
know
don't
me enough
like
at
you.
all.
I don't like
I
you.
don't care. Listen,
What?
you're a 60-plus-year-old man telling somebody
Exactly.
that you
okay.
don't like
That's
them.
All right.
why.
You
That's
too
why I
Hold
don't
old.
want
on.
to be
Listen,
here
you
with him.
way too old
I
for
don't
that.
All
want.
right.
I don't
Way
Okay.
want to be
too
here
old.
with him. Okay.
Okay. Hold on one
I
second.
don't want
So,
to be
Gabe,
here. All right, I
okay,
drop down
Gabe,
and I'll come back
you wanna
up.
come back? Okay,
Yeah.
come
Sure,
back, Gabe.
sure,
Okay,
man.
no problem, Gabe. I don't know if you can tell BGS, but me and Gabe are kindred spirits. We have
I,
a
I,
lot
I,
in
you,
common.
you, I, you know what? I've been around people for God since I was 4 years old. Okay,
Uh huh.
if you like somebody, I have no problem with who other people like. Okay,
Hmm.
or dislike. Okay, I got friends, male and female, that can't get along with each other. Okay, you especially females, right? I don't like that broad. Okay, that's my friend. Okay, what I don't like her, so you don't have to like her. That's still my friend. Just
I
don't be
got you.
when I'm around her. Okay.
Hmm.
Gabe has given me plenty of reasons not to like him. Okay, so basically, if he's gonna be up, at this point, okay, I'm not giving energy to people that I don't like. I don't want to be around.
I got you. I
I'm not gonna
got you. I
be around.
got you.
Okay,
I got you. I hear you. Okay,
okay,
so it's just me and you.
okay. How,
Um,
how, how do you know what I teach men about male female relationship? Because that's normally not my stick. I'll give advice when asked. Okay. Now, as far as passport bros, if that's the question, okay, my thing is whatever woman will give you the best deal so you can be happy. Put your happiness first. So if
but
you have
what
to
I'm
go,
talking about is that your dudes, they sit and they say stuff like, "Oh, May, you're not submissive. You're this, you're that. You probably beat your husband up." They have all these insults towards me, and they don't have any idea. I can
do
tell you don't. I can
do
tell you don't teach
okay,
them what submission and
do
dominance is. That's my point.
I don't teach some submission and dominance. Okay, I teach
Clearly,
cooperation. I don't teach submission or dominance. If you want a chick that's going to dominate you and that's what makes you happy, go do it.
no, I
So,
don't mean dominance of men.
and,
I'm talking
no,
about
no, 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 no. Didn't hear me. What did I say? I
you say
tell
you
men,
teach cooperation.
I teach cooperation. I teach whatever makes you happy. And trust, believe there's some BDSM going on inside of my channel. I just don't deal with it because that's not my stick. Okay, I teach cooperation. Okay,
I didn't say nothing about BDSM though.
I, if you're talking about domination and submission and that a dom sub relationship, that's BDSM. Okay,
Well, I hear you, but I see it differently. I think there's a kink aspect to it,
they
and then
can't.
there's an actual lifestyle of submission and dominance. It doesn't have anything to do with kink.
And in the black community, it goes both ways. It always has.
Okay, but I'm saying these dudes is always trying to do this whole thing where they talk about, oh, somebody's not submissive. They use the word BGS. You got to admit they use the word submission. And what's the
Okay.
opposite of submission? Is
Okay.
dominance.
In the black community, because they've been taught, okay, they've been taught the word submission. But guess what? In the black
They
community, you
don't
know
have
what?
a clue what it is.
Can I finish what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
Okay. I had to get on my mentor about that because people want to finish their thoughts, and I'm in mid sentence. Okay.
Okay, I got you.
And you disagreeing. You, have, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to say and disagreeing with it. Okay.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay. What I've noticed over the past 25 years, 'cause I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay. In fact,
Hmm.
my octanes were actually came up with when I was in my 20s, my fiance. Okay. That's where I first started developing the idea of octanes. So this got to be damn near 40 years ago. So it's not new. So, but the thing is that when most guys I've come to believe because they use the word submission all the time,
Right.
right? Which
Hmm.
really does, for the most part, really does not exist in the ADOS community. Okay, our women do not submit. Okay, what our women do is cooperate. And that's what they're really asking for. White men want submission, okay? Black men want cooperation. So when they say submission, substitute cooperation for it because they don't really want a chick that's going to submit to them like that because they don't want that, okay? It's not what they're used to.
Mm. Can you tell me the difference between what you're saying? I'm just asking for clarity. I'm exploring this idea. What is the difference between black female and male cooperation relationship and what you're saying white men want, which is submission? What's the difference? I'm just curious what you think.
Okay. There's a bunch of things, okay? And I was
Hmm.
talking to this my mentor because my mentor, she's in her 80s. She's gonna be 80 in November, and she's been counseling women for good God 50 years. She's been doing female counseling for 50 years. So a lot of stuff I get from her. Okay, like
Hmm.
black men black community being in reverse order of nature that comes from her. Okay, uh, when I talk about sign language, okay, which Kevin he actually used, he actually modified it. But the thing is, I got that from Iana Van Zant.
So
My
this is the woman who you've been saying is your mentor all along, Iana?
no, she's not my mentor. I happened to talk to her a couple times because she's a good friend with a good friend of mine. Okay, and he was hosting
Mhm.
an online show. She happened to be on it, and
I love Iana. I love her.
and if you listen to Yana, a lot of stuff that it's coded for women, but a lot of stuff. Yana talks a lot of red pill stuff, and sometimes it's black.
Yeah. Hmm.
A lot of stuff the women don't want to hear. Okay, even the bus driver comment, women freaked out about it. But your white feminists have been saying that for the past 30 years about the bus driver thing. Okay, but anyway, but the thing is that for uh
We
for
talking about the black men cooperation and the
in other words,
white men demand submission. What's the difference between the two?
most okay black okay what black men want is to be king of their castle, right? Because that's the way they've been trained. In other words, white women are naturally more demure. They're more what is it, passive aggressive. They're more submissive because that's the way they came up. In other words, that's their family model. Okay,
Okay.
the strong patriarchal foundation, even though patriarchy really doesn't exist in the West anymore for the most part, that's what they're brought up on, right? Okay, black men never had that. Okay, black men and women came out of slavery having to be equals. Okay, so in other words, just to survive, they have to cooperate. Black women were always. I'm not even go back to that. Okay, black women have always been put ahead in the family. Okay, that's always been a model. And no man, no most black men, unless they're super rich, ever came up with that. They've always been. Can I find a woman that will cooperate and kind of figure out a mission to follow? Okay.
Okay, so
Can't-
cooperation looks like what versus submission from
o-
what you say white men want.
Okay. Basically, I'll use myself as an example. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That 50-50 shit didn't mean nothing, right? Because everybody had to put in whatever they had to survive. Okay.
Hmm.
To pay your bills, eat, put food on the table, put clothes on your back to survive. Everybody put 100% in. Okay, there was no 50-50. Nobody even worried about it. Whatever you have or don't have, it's got to go in the pot. That's an
Hmm.
old, it's old. What they call, I used to call it old covenant marriage. Okay,
Hmm.
and the way my mother raised me, the way my father raised me, the way I wanted to have a wife is, you know, nobody gives a damn what job you do. Okay, The job is for this family, the family unit, to go forward and function and thrive as best way as possible. So if you make more money, God bless you. If I make more money, God bless you. Okay. If I have to do the laundry, so what? I've been trained to do that anyway. I've been trained to cook. Okay. I've been trained to clean. I've been trained to diaper. I started diapering babies at 6 years old. No big deal. Okay. Most black
Hmm.
men are raised that way.
So
So
shared responsibilities is what you're saying.
shared responsibilities and basically picking up slack. Okay.
Hmm.
My father was a chef. Okay, he cooks. Okay, he knew how to cook. He knew how to clean. He knew how to do all that stuff. Okay, my mother made sure that we knew how to do all that stuff. Okay, and most black boys and most black men do. We weren't raised. When was the last time you heard a black boy call his mother out her name and
Right.
live to tell the tale?
Nah, he ain't gonna live.
Okay,
He can curse the
guess
rest of his life.
guess who does that on a regular basis and gets away with it? White boys.
Oh, yeah, that could. Oh, yeah, I heard a lot of my white friends cuss their parents all the fuck the way out. Both of them know, mom and dad.
But dad, you might be able to get away with in a black family, okay? Maybe, okay? But mama, don't happen. So when you hear submission, when you hear them use submission because that's a white term, okay? What they mean is cooperation.
And they submit. They're saying they can't get cooperation from women. That's what you're saying. They don't
My
want. They got women.
this is something, okay? This is something I discuss with because, like I said, I've been around, okay, and I've been in the pro-black sector for a good 40 years. I remember when the psychologist was actually saying is doing this partner stuff, right?
Hmm.
They're doing this partner stuff, and what they didn't do, which most traditional societies do, is they teach roles of the male and the female, okay. So by the time they get to be of age, which is like 13, 14, 15, they know their roles already. They don't have to. The man doesn't have to. I never expected to have to teach my wife or my woman how to be a woman, how to run a house. Her mother, that's her mother's job. Okay, I do my job. My mother and father, sometimes they couldn't stand each other. But seeing as once he didn't have to train or nothing, they got together and the marriage worked. So what I
Okay,
teach.
but we're new Negroes now. We got a lot of black folks that's not in poverty.
Hmm.
We got a lot of black folks that um, can have less of a dependency on both partners.
Hmm.
We got that now. We can't say in the 1940s and 50s,
Hmm.
oh, yeah, you could just afford to be a stay at home mom, or you can just be a yoga chick or whatever and be married and have kids. Now we got a whole different dynamic of different, I'm going to call them new Negroes. Okay.
Hmm.
And they can afford to do things differently and explore some of these things that maybe had never been available before. And I think that the guys are always talking about submission, but I don't think they even understand the nature of it. And I hear what you're saying. It makes sense. They want cooperation. They're saying the word submission. But I guess I'm in that new Negro vein. So what I hear is them saying what they want. And I'm like, ooh, y'all are not qualified for none of that. Because to have submission, which is what you say, white men demand,
Hmm.
certain white men, they're not carrying the weight that comes with that. So why would they expect that?
They
And
don't
my
expect.
argument, huh? They
They
don't.
don't. No. I just told you for about 10 minutes. That's not what they really want. Okay.
You said they want cooperation. I
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
But when they be talking to me, they be dragging me, talking about you probably beat your husband and you this and you that. Like I'm dominating my husband. I'm like, y'all have no idea. And and I'm like, I'm not a dominant woman. I
How,
talk trash on the internet. I'm a troll.
how do
But
they
that
know?
hasn't
How do they know?
they got to stop thinking
No, they
that
don't.
submission. No,
Everybody
they
does.
do. They got
Everybody
to
does
stop
this.
thinking that submission. They got to stop thinking submission is a bitch whispering. That's what they think. Hi, sweetie. You better watch a whispering bitch. If she's whispering and doing all them acting things, you got to watch her. That's
Mm,
trouble.
not
That's
necessarily.
true.
Not necessarily.
Shit.
White
Shit.
white women don't. White women and Asian women don't talk like
Okay.
white women.
I'm just saying, all that whispering, that's a stereotype that people who don't know anything about submission. They don't know about power dynamics. They like that because it looks like. And let me just say this real quick, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
be quiet. Let me say this real quick. I'll be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
listened to this white couple today.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first time listening to them, but I was
Mm-hmm.
like really relating to. I put it in my thumbnail, and I actually reviewed the whole video, hour and a half or so. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is the exact relationship I have with my own husband, and it's complete dominance and complete submission, and it don't look like what people think. And that's what I want to say. People haven't been exposed to it as a lifestyle. They think they want it in their wife. They think so, but they don't understand the responsibility, the respect, the boundaries, the intuition, the patience. It's a lot. It's a give and take. They don't understand that. They seriously have some stereotypes that domination and submission is me being a mean, aggressive male, and I tell a bitch what to do, and she jump when I say jump. They don't understand. It's a dance. It's something beautiful. And I'm just saying it's kind of your fault because you let them
So
use that word. That's all I'm saying.
why
Go
is it my
ahead.
fault?
Because you the one said you spend your channel talking about relationships, and they using
I,
terminology
I,
they don't
I
understand.
don't bend my channel to talk about relationship. I don't.
BGS, last time you said, I asked you, I said, why y'all worshiping women? You said my channel is about relationships. You said it.
Yeah.
You said that. Okay, then that's relationships.
The thing is relationships to the system that we're talking about. When I talk about male female relationships, it's more than just interpersonal like that. It's group. Okay. And the thing is, submission and dominance. How are they taught submission and dominance in the black community? What does it look like?
Well,
I asked you a question. I
I'm
asked you a question.
answering. I would answer, and I would say I think that's a mistake to always think that everything has to be in relation to what the black community
Ah,
has already created and what the community has already done.
so what
I
have
would say
they?
that's a mistake, maybe.
What do they still see? Okay, today it ain't
But it's the
changed.
thing: if you don't entertain something new, then you end up with the same thing you
I'm not.
had.
I didn't ask that. Okay.
Okay, what are you asking me?
I asked you, what do they see when they think about dominance and submission? What are they taught? What do they see in their own lives, in their own families? What do they see?
Yeah, I see the point. They
Okay.
see single house. Let me answer.
Hmm.
They probably see single households. There's not a man present at all in a lot of the family members. A lot of unmarried cousins, females.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they may even have their own children. They have children, and there's no family. They don't have a male female long term dynamic to even relate to. I could see that being a problem. Maybe I got it wrong. You tell me.
Okay. Let's go ahead and talk black. Okay.
Okay.
Get out of this for a second, right? Okay. Basically, most black women see a guy that's firm because I've been that guy. Okay. I don't yell, I don't holler, I don't put my hands on women. Right? Okay. They see that as weak, as soft. Okay. They do.
It's
Firm.
soft to see a dominant man.
The thing is, what's a black woman's impression of a dominant man? Most black women. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about yours. What's their impression of a dominant man? What's he supposed to be like, feel like, act like?
A dominant man, unless he's got, I'm be honest, I think for most women, unless he's got like a lot of money, clout, or fame or something that's worth it to her to be dealing with him if he's aggressive, dominant, whatever we want to call it. He's got to be, for her, it's got to be a bargaining chip. It's got to be something she's going to get. She's not trying to sign up for that. That's what I'm saying, for the most part.
What,
For the
what I'm
most
saying, what I'm saying is, if a guy shows up and she don't know him from a pan of cake, right? Okay, what's her image of a dominant man?
Oh, he's abusive.
He's gonna be maybe abusive, or maybe forthright. Maybe he's gonna yell at her. Maybe he's gonna beat his chest like King Kong, right?
Right, right.
Okay,
That's black dominance. That's black dominance.
that's
Let me
that.
say that.
And if basically, and this is why I brought, people don't know, but actually ask Kevin actually teach men. Okay, that's where the Kevin Samuel show actually came from. Ask him actually teach so-called educated lames, educated men are getting passed over. Okay, that were nice, and they were well spoken because they were educated in the white community. Okay, And that's the and a lot of my subjects are actually are educated. We have PhDs and are scientists and stuff like that. We're educated in the white community, right? Okay.
Hmm.
A lot of the psychology, maybe you need to date out and date white women because your culture, the way you are cultured, doesn't fit the stereotype of what black women actually want.
Do you think black men actually want true domination and submission, surrender, or do you think they actually just want cooperation? What do you think they actually ultimately want?
Every single one of them that I ever talked to, counsel, talked to on the air, okay, wanted cooperation. Even the ones that are hardcore.
What's up, exposure? You
Hmm?
said they want which one did you say?
They
Submission
wanted
or
they wanted cooperation. Okay,
cooperation? That's easier.
it's not it's not it's really not that hard. But most women are not. Most modern women are not trained to cooperate. They've never been trained.
Okay,
No,
you said most modern women are not trained
and not to cooperate. They,
to
that's that's
cooperate.
that's where that's it's even affecting the white community right now about this partnership stuff. Okay.
Okay.
And black women were brought up in a matriarchy. They're taught that they're taught that basically um, to be strong, to be dominant, to be. In fact, let me see if I can. No, let me see if I can find it. Okay, because I had it, and this chick said exactly the same stuff that I've heard since I was a kid. Okay.
I don't want you to prove it. I'm just trying to explore the idea.
And what she's saying is what the thing is, if you're not mean to that man, okay,
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
you don't keep your foot on that man's neck, he's going to abuse you. And that's what's been told to most black women, okay? Because I've noticed this with um, say black men marrying a foreign woman, right? Whether she's from the continent, whether she's from Asia, wherever, right? Okay. And the black women always try to change her. You can't be this nice to him. You can't be this soft with him. You're gonna have to treat him a certain way. You're gonna have to be mean to him. You're gonna have to put your foot on his neck. You're gonna have to do all this kind of stuff, right, to keep him under control.
Okay, BGS. You got the octanes. Let's go back to the octanes.
Let's no, let's stay on this track first. Okay, then we'll
This has to do with the octanes, though.
no, it
What
does
you're
not.
talking about
No,
is an
no,
85 and an 87,
no, it does not. No, it
and
does not.
that's their culture.
No,
Yes,
it
it
does.
is.
No, it does not. Michelle Obama is not an 85. She never has been. She feels the same way about Barack. She's just mad that she can't enact it. Okay, she feels the same way. And she's not an 85. I've dated every class except 100 octane because I don't have them. I don't want to have the money to try to date a 100 octane chick. I know them. I've been around them. Okay, I've
I think
known the.
class is a mindset too. It's not always just
It's,
about
it, it,
money. And I'm
it,
let
okay.
me say this. Let me say this,
Let,
BGS. Let me just say this.
let me finish my statement. Then you can, because
Okay.
you asked about it, right? Class has to do with culture. Okay, class has to do with a certain economic status and culture, the way you were brought up. But now go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think it has something to do with culture too. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. What did she have her father growing up?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Her father died. In fact, she talked about her father dying after right before she went to college because he was the block captain in Chicago.
Okay. So she did grow up with a dad. I would be
Yes.
curious to know what the dynamics was in their household. I would be curious to know that. I know
Uh,
that you have definitely decided that all black women without exception have a what you call it low level contempt for black men. I know that's your stick. I know. But what I
hmm
will argue with you is there is a new Negro, and that new Negro needs some light and some attention because I think the new Negro may be a new path in a different direction that has never been considered in the black community.
Define the new Negro for me.
The new Negroes exist, but y'all don't explore that. Y'all keep going back to Keisha and hold on,
Define
hold
the
on.
new Negro.
Well, I'm still in this term from the 1920s. I'm still in it. First of all, I should say that, give it credit. But the new Negro moves different. The new Negro thinks different. The new Negro is progressive in a non-liberal way, per se. The new Negro has options and opportunities that never existed before. I'll give an example. There are people out here who exist. that can say, I want my wife. I have many people in my neighborhood. My wife chooses, even though she's educated, she chooses to stay home. This is the new Negro. This man can't afford, or he has a wife who chooses to be part time or something like that. Or she does what white women do, which is spend 5 to 7 years raising kids full time. Then she goes back once the kids are in school and she works her career. There's a new Negro. And I think y'all don't give that a chance. Y'all just keep dwelling on it's the ghetto, it's the Keisha, it's the
No.
Jermaine. And
Okay. How do
yes,
you,
y'all don't give the new Negro
how,
a chance to exist.
they are the new Negro. They were brought up that. What
No,
are you talking about?
no,
Yes, they are.
no.
How do you know? Well,
The new Negro grew
well,
up also. Hold
let, let,
on, let me
me
say.
let me
Okay,
ask
I'll
you
be
this.
quiet.
What do
Go
you
ahead, I'll be
think
quiet.
my constituents actually are made up of? Who do you think they are? What do they actually do for a living? What do you think they are? Top four.
Um, you talking about your
My
the
my,
people
my,
that
my subs, my subscribers. Top four groups. What do
your subscribers. They're IT guys. They're probably cops, IT,
you, not cop, not
military,
military?
and
Yeah,
yeah, military cops, Secret Service type stuff, and truck drivers.
truck drivers. Yeah, top four. Yeah,
Did I guess them?
yeah.
That
So
means I
so
listen a lot. Yeah, you
so
can tell I
so,
listen a
so
lot.
and, and what? All of them are probably educated. Most of them have bachelors. So how are
Hmm.
they not the new Negro that
Well,
you described?
part of the new Negro also is someone who comes from a lineage. I'm talking about talented 10. Let me just say it, okay? The talented 10.
Okay.
A lot of them come from generations of seeing a man and a woman like Gabe, like myself. We come from seeing generations. I have generations all the way back to slavery on my matriarchal side.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show you a picture of my great great grandmother, and
Mm-hmm.
she had children with her master. I got a picture of him too. My aunt
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of research,
Mm-hmm.
and she had children with this one white man. And there's a picture of him and his wife. So we see old, what y'all call them, Bessie or Sue or whatever, Miss whatever. Look at
And
that was Miss Ann. There we go. She's
mm-hmm.
sitting up there looking like Miss Ann, looking angry because I'm sure, she's seeing all these children my great grandmother is having with this white man, her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely gonna post it and so you can see it. So what I'm telling you is facts. I'm not lying. My family and matriarchally has, and I say matriarchal, I mean all the women in my family. I can't sign for every man in my family, but the women in my family, from my great
Mm-hmm.
grandmother, she was in a relationship with him clearly, but as much as a slave can be. But every generation after that, it's been only women who are married, have a husband, and live with their husband and have children only with their husband. So my great grandmother, my mother, me, and the generations of the other women, my aunts, my cousins, we all, as black women, grew up in a household with a man and a woman, strong man, patriarchal, dynamic. Can't speak for the rest of the black community. And not only that, it's a rule in our family. It's just understood. You're gonna get married by 22. You're gonna have a husband by 22. That's just how it is. We don't have anybody who's been an exception to the rule. See,
Okay. How does that jibe with the rest of the black community?
that job's differently because what we have is women who have actually known what it looks like to see a strong man be long term. They actually know what it looks like for him to have a role. And doesn't mean that he was the only one bringing in money, but he was strong and he provided. And our mothers and our great grandmothers and stuff, they showed us this man is the backbone of the family. So we have a mentality in our family
Okay.
that women
Mm-hmm.
support strong men, and this is how we do well because we support strong black men. None of us been married to white men. None of us.
Okay. In other words, how does that relate to the rest of the black community? The other 80%. How does that relate?
It makes us different.
It makes you different. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
What do I have to speak to as being a content creator? Not the 10%. That's Kevin's job. Kevin speaks to the 10%. Okay.
But you don't speak to the 10%. That's the problem.
That's not my job.
You
Kevin,
telling them Negroes to
Kevin,
stay where they are.
I don't tell them to stay where they are.
Where's the upliftment? I said something about bootstraps. They was like, "Oh, you just funny." Ha ha ha. They
None.
thought that shit was hilarious, and I'm like, "No, that's what I believe."
No group bootstraps anything. Okay, you can't can't bootstrap nothing.
What? Why?
It's because you rely on the country that you're in to actually help you out. Okay, you ain't you don't run a port by yourself. You don't run roads by yourself. You don't build roads by yourself. Okay, the infrastructure has to be there.
My eyebrows just went all the way down. I just want you to know my eyebrows went all the way down.
The thing is, okay, the thing is, there's no such thing as bootstraps. Okay, the community has to help you uplift, even black people. Okay, you live in the most modern country on the planet. If you don't live like people in the Congo. Okay, you have you have public schools, you have all this kind of roads, all this kind of stuff. Even the poorest neighborhoods have public schools. Okay,
Okay, let
white.
me say
Hold
let
on,
me just read this
hold
comment real quick. Hold on. Kevin
on.
Samuels didn't have a degree either. He wasn't speaking for the educated class of the black man either. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Kevin Samuels wasn't teaching. Nobody's been teaching the talented tenth or how to move up. Nobody's been teaching that. Anton, what's his name? Anton
Anton Daniel.
Daniels.
Uh huh.
He tries, but he's just mostly just kind of saying, "Look at me, I'm the big guy." But he's not doing that either. He's not teaching culture, and nobody's teaching the culture.
Have,
BGS, go
have
ahead, I'm listening.
have you asked Kevin had 600 people in the mix. Okay, had to earn at least 100 grand or above. Okay, ask them what kind of teacher he was. Don't assume. Ask them.
Now you know at some point a teacher has to have results, and Kevin Samuels did not have an intact family. He did not establish a patriarch. I'm just saying, at some point the teacher has to be able to show that this works. And
Uh,
that's why I think I'm just
you,
telling you. That's why I think me and Gabe. I'm just doing this for example, and I'm not alone. Okay, my whole network, and I'm sure Gabe's network and other people like us. We have a network. We have other groups and families, husband and wife teams, families that we collaborate with, that we do stuff with, that we consider our social peers, and that becomes culture for us. And we don't deter from that. Those
say,
values.
say it
Go
again
ahead.
for who? For who? For who again?
I'm saying the
For you,
talented
right?
test.
For you, right? Okay. For you.
Okay.
Okay. For you. If he's got a group of men, who's supposed to serve? You or the men?
Who are we talking about?
Kevin.
Kevin Samuels, I'm saying, did not teach this idea. He talked about networking, but he mostly talked about only brotherhood. He never extended it and talked about, listen, he said we need families, but then he did, he's just so disconnected and disjointed with what he talked about. So the ultimate goal is what, BGS? What is the ultimate goal? Is it to have men have strong families, leadership? Is that the goal?
No, the goal was, and I'll tell you exactly what the goal was. Okay, according to
Okay.
what the men wanted, they wanted to improve themselves, improve their chances in life, to be happy. That's their
With
goal with
with or
them,
without women?
with or without.
Okay. With or without women. I want to
That's
be clear
my
on that.
that's my goal. Okay, to be the best version of yourself, to be be content in yourself, with or without. That's enlightenment. Enlightenment is not happy. Enlightenment is contentment. Okay. Now your
Okay.
state wants you to have families. Your state wants you to have kids. Your state wants you to have all this stuff. But is that you? And what is the state doing to actually facilitate that? If they
Good
want,
questions.
if the state wants you to, if because I just read this. This is actually white women, right? Okay, we're going back and forth about marriage and kids and them not having kids, all this kind of shit, right? Okay.
Hmm.
The state needs you to have children. Society needs you to have kids, okay? And children,
Hmm.
okay? Men,
Hmm.
white men say the exact same because when I first came to the ministry, it wasn't to the black people, so to white men. They're saying the exact same thing, right? The society is giving you a raw deal. In other words, if they want us to actually participate, what are they actually giving back? I always say return on investment. Okay. Have you shown black men? Have you shown men? Period. That their best return on investment is actually have a wife, kids, and family over the past, I say, 50 years.
Well, I would say that's not the state's responsibility. That's
Okay.
more about your own morals and values. But I
Okay.
understand your point. I see your point. You want people to have kids. then you should be family friendly with all your legislation and your rules and regulations. Yeah.
In other words, if the state's responsibility is to keep the structure of the society stable, it's their responsibility. You,
Okay.
you go to the Middle East, you go the state steps right in. They don't have no problem with it.
I see what you're saying, and I would argue, not argue, but I would agree with you to the level that I think that that's what this Trump stuff is about: turning a face away from homosexuality, telling transsexuals and men are men and women are women, and men don't need to compete against women, as well as overturning Roe versus Wade. I see a whole lot of movement towards what I guess is a step towards patriarchy. I would say the state is doing everything it can, even eliminating the competition, which is the foreign man.
Okay. Guess what? Guess what happens to most matriarchies, and why there's not a whole lot of them? They
I
die.
don't know.
They die. They die out. Because people leave because it doesn't work. That's why. And they've tried.
Yeah.
They've admitted feminism as they've practiced it over the past 60 years does not work. They've run the experiment. Don't work. Every
I
metric that
don't.
you
I don't.
hold on,
I
hold on,
don't think.
hold on. Okay, like I
Okay,
have on for you. Okay,
I got you.
okay. Shit don't work. Look at all the metrics from 1960 on. All right, they're all down. Why is that?
BGS women don't want pay. They don't want matriarchy. Just to let you know, we don't want matriarchy.
Okay, so what are they doing to actually enhance what they want? Is it working?
I think what women have done is they have used feminism to try to so-called correct some of the uh, flaws in patriarchy, some of the
Hmm.
limitations. That's how
Okay,
I see fem. That's how I see feminism.
okay,
Feminism has been a movement to correct or tweak or change or adjust patriarchy. I am
okay,
totally. I don't know any other system in my mind. You say patriarchy doesn't exist, but I totally see a patriarchal world. I think patriarchy works just fine. I just
okay.
think feminism has a role because there are some things that need to be tweaked as we move in modern society, and it takes two people to actually, like, survive together. And I do believe that. I think if you're out here by yourself, male or female, you're a fool. You're a fucking fool if you don't want to bind with somebody and create a business and fight this world together. I think you're damn crazy. But that's just me because I come from that kind of environment. Go ahead.
How many people in the world, or how in the United States, are actually out there by themselves?
A lot, too many.
How many do you think? Give me a percentage.
Too many. That's my answer.
Okay. So in other words, they're out in the woods
Can you hear
by.
me, BTS?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So how many people are out in the woods building their own structures, foraging for their own food by themselves?
No, nobody's doing that extreme, but I think too many people are islands, single, out here
They're,
trying to
they're
pretend they're
not
living their best life.
they're
They're
not
not.
islands. They're not islands. Okay.
Hmm.
They depend on other human beings that actually bring them food, electricity, water, all that kind of shit. Okay. They're dependent on the structure. Okay, of people. They're not out there by themselves. They can't be.
But they are, if they're not institution of marriage, they are out there by
You're
themselves.
not about the thing is the superstructure of the society is protected from them. They're not out there by themselves. It's impossible in this society.
This is where your monk comes in and my sense of patriarchy and values comes in. This is the difference between me and you. I believe a man's not valid. A
Mm-hmm.
man doesn't have value if he can't establish a family in society.
Okay.
That's the basic building block of society. And if he can't have a king and he can't be a king, he doesn't have a castle, and he don't have no family lineage, I feel like that man ain't contributed nothing to society.
What?
That's just me.
That's you. That's not me.
And this is the difference. This is what I'm talking about. You
Well,
have men who want to
mm-hmm.
be lone soldiers and lone wolves, and they running around here mad and angry because they talking about they want somebody to submit to them. But these are the same men who don't want to be a building block of society.
That's
Come on now,
that's not
something
what
got to give.
that's not what they say.
They reject marriage and building blocks of society, which is the
Uh,
family unit. At the
Why?
same time, they
Why?
complaining about women
Why?
ain't submissive
Why do they reject marriage? It has nothing to do with the women.
because they don't know how to find. Okay, you tell me. I don't know. Why do they reject it?
In other words, the state and the obligations that are unfair that they see as unfair to them, kids, marriage, alimony, all the other kind of stuff, right? That goes along with it. Okay, they see it as an unfair arrangement.
So this is gonna stop you from doing what God has naturally put as you your family values, lineage. The state gonna stop you
So
from that.
when have human beings for the since the Garden of Eden actually submitted to God 100%?
When have they done what?
Since the Garden of Eden, when have human beings submitted to God 100%?
That's not the point, BJ.
It
As
is
a
the point.
man, you
I
have
asked.
to you have a natural inclination to say, I want to find a woman and I want to be her covering, and the exchange between us will be a contribution to society, an extension of my own family and lineage, and I'm contributing to actual society as a building block. I'm going to be productive in this way. I personally, and maybe that's because I'm patriarchal, I think that shit has value.
It does have
And what
value.
you guys are doing is throwing that shit out the door and being like, bitch, submit, but I
So
ain't
why?
committing to you.
So why are they doing it? That's what you don't understand.
Why are men participating in that?
Why are they? It has to be an exchange at some point. All human beings are like this. It's got to be an exchange.
Yes,
I
I
give
agree.
something. I give something. I get something back. Right? Okay.
Yes,
When the
yes,
exchange
yes.
is not equitable in their eyes, they won't do it. It's all human beings.
So this is why we got baby mamas, right?
You have baby mamas because women choose to have babies out of wedlock.
And the men are choosing to impregnate those women and not build family systems. This is what you get. This is what you get, BGS. This is what y'all create.
How long? How long does it take to impregnate a woman?
The men are choosing to impregnate
How long?
women instead.
You have to
It
answer
takes
my.
2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds.
How long does it take to give birth to a child?
9 months,
40 weeks, right? Take 40 weeks, right?
40
Okay.
weeks. Yep. Hmm.
Men, there ain't no man out there squatting, pushing out babies. Okay. Who makes it in this modern era? Who makes the
Here we
decision?
go.
Hold on. In this modern era, who makes the decision to actually have that child?
Well, Mr. DNC King, the answer to that
No, no, no.
question is
Okay.
men
Okay.
choose to put their penis unprotected into a fertile womb, which is a
Okay.
conscious choice. Okay.
Okay. So how did they get in the fertile womb in the first place?
So here you go.
I'm
You
asking the
going
question.
you going left.
No, 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 no. Don't judge me. Answer my question. Follow the logic. Don't do that.
I submit to you that there's two people who decided they didn't give a fuck. The man decided he didn't give a damn about putting his penis in a fertile womb and all the consequences that come with that, AIDS or otherwise, he's okay with it. And that woman, she didn't give a damn about herself enough. Two people joined together and they were reckless. And they created a reckless situation. And I
And
don't think anything good comes from neither none of it.
and who has the most to lose?
Both of them, because his
No,
ass can end up on child support. His ass can end up with a child that he has no control access to, and she, on the other hand, end up in poverty and with a child who's bound to fail. They both gonna lose.
so in other words, basically, but the thing, who winds up with the kid? So
Well, it depends on who wants the child, because I understand that both parents have access to the
no, they don't.
child.
No, they don't.
See, there y'all go.
No, it's called the 10 years doctrine. Okay, it's called a court of chancery. I've studied this stuff. Okay, that's not true. I came up at the age of Glory Allred and the changing of the child support laws, all that kind of stuff. Right? Still not. It's not true. Still today, it's not true.
So, what you're telling me is that men don't have any responsibility when it comes to having children.
I'm not saying they don't. What I'm saying,
So they have
who?
a responsibility. They're choosing to go. BGS.
Uh,
Let's just be honest. Those men are choosing to deal with women, first of all, who don't have values in themselves. They're choosing women who don't value their lineage and they don't have a plan for their life. Those men are choosing all of that. Let's just be honest.
they choose. They're
They're choosing
choosing.
that.
They're choosing women in their class, right? Who feel the same way because they feel the same way about themselves. Because the
So we got
55%.
so what are you saying? We got a low self esteem issue here, lack of
You have
values here.
Okay, okay. What you have is really is one is the state took the family out of the picture. Okay, because what I'm saying, what I believe in is that the state, if a dude gets woman pregnant, just make them marry and stay together for life, or at least until the child is grown. Okay, they'll stop with most of that crap because she won't be able to bounce. You got to stay. If you want to have a baby by him, you got to stay with him until that baby's grown, whether you like it or not. That's what
So
I believe.
state coercion. So state
Yes,
coercion
yes,
is the answer.
yes,
Wow,
yes,
really?
yes.
Wow.
If you want to choose to have a baby by this guy, okay, fine. That's your husband. Stay with him till the baby's is grown. That's what I believe. But that's not going to happen because women want their freedom, their choice, and all the other kind of stuff, right?
No, no.
They don't.
I'm listening to you. I'll listen to this stuff you're saying, and then I'll respond. I'm gonna just
So,
listen.
so,
I
so
got a
why is
lot of disagreements right where you just
so
said.
so why does the average black marriage last 5 years and is actually initiated by the female if they really want to be married and have a two
I'm
parent
gonna
household?
I'm gonna say the new Negro has a different way.
Okay, what is that
And
way?
nobody wants to talk about the new Negro because the new Negro makes and the new Negro's perspectives make the every other black person feel inferior. And they say, this is what Mr. Z said. This is what I'm having this conversation too. Mr. Z said, I was listening to his his channel, and he said that we want to be white. That's what he said. We trying to be white. Black women trying to imitate whiteness. I'm not imitating whiteness. I'm imitating what my great grandmother did, what my grandmother did, and
Hmm.
my great great grandmother did, and my mother did. I'm imitating that. That's what I was taught
He's not
to
talking
get
about.
a husband,
Okay.
huh?
He's not talking about the outlaws. He's talking about the majority of women and more majority of educated black women. It's in
That's what
their
I'm
literature.
saying.
In their literature.
Y'all, okay, y'all keep on focusing on what fails and talking and repeating what fails. And all I'm telling you is there's a new Negro
Okay. Well, where
that
they at?
has a different path. I'm trying to tell you it exists. I'm surrounded by it. I'm surrounded by it. I keep
Hmm.
doing these videos trying to prove that it exists. And everybody's not in the ghetto and everybody doesn't lack values and everybody doesn't hate marriage. And all I'm saying is if y'all can just move a little bit and see a different way and don't call it white, because I'm in Black Atlanta and my whole neighborhood, 400 houses. This is just one neighborhood. I'm telling you, there's a new Negro that exists. And maybe the talented 10 is the direction we need to be moving. I've been having this argument about W.E.B. Du Bois forever.
Okay.
We
So
got to move different. We can't
how,
be the Booker T.
how
That ain't working.
how you develop the talent intense? How you do that?
You start having higher expectations of your life.
Bunk.
Oh, see, this is where we go back to the bootstraps, BGS, and you disagree with that.
Bunk.
Have higher expectations. Why is that bump?
How,
Why?
how, do-
Why?
how, do,
Why?
how do other cultures train the talented intense? How do they do it?
I believe it's networking, BGS,
No.
but you tell me. You tell me.
Education. Okay. How did China do it? How do Asians do it when they get here? Okay. How do Jewish people do? How do they do it? What do they focus on?
Networks,
No.
family building systems. Marry well, marry resourcefully, and build networks. That's what I understand
How,
they
how
do.
can how can you network with broken people?
You don't network with broken people. That's the point.
Yeah. So in other words, if the majority of your people or your group is broken, how do you network?
Let me hold on. You said if the majority of your people are broken,
Hmm.
how do you network? You only network with people who are resourceful.
Okay. Okay. This is something that because I like to bring stats and data and statistics, right? Okay. It's a very simple thing, right? Okay. In the United States, who actually earns the most in the United States uh, by percentage of population?
Asians.
Asians. Okay. Who's next?
Well, that would be probably Jewish or white.
White. Okay. Who's next?
Mm, I believe Blacks fall next, and then Latinos.
They flip flop. The thing is, okay, now they earn the most, right? Okay, when it comes to study hours per day, who studies the most?
Definitely Asians.
Next,
White,
next.
Black, Latino.
Okay, see the correlation?
I do.
It's not that hard.
So education is the answer. But then when you have people who get educated, people talk shit to them.
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
educated, and people laugh and talk shit. Oh, who cares about your degrees? That's you gotta deal with this, BGS. This world you created, it's got conflicts in it.
And,
There's an anomaly. Remember? Oh, in the Matrix, there is an anomaly. There is an anomaly. There's a glitch. And what I'm telling you is you got a glitch in your system. You don't give these men a plan. And that's when I swear, BGS, I would not bother you if I did not see that one little glitch. I would be leaving you alone.
what
But
glitch is
you
that?
have that glitch. You got a glitch, man.
What's the glitch?
The glitch is you refuse to tell these men that there's a different way. Don't worry about Keisha. Fuck Keisha. She's stupid. Leave her in the ghetto where she came from.
I say
You,
that all.
brother,
I say that all the time.
no, but then y'all pull back and y'all keep
No,
talking
no,
about Keisha.
I'm not.
Y'all
No, no,
keep
no, no,
talking
no, no,
about the
no, no.
ghetto.
You talk about them. Not what do I say? Don't save Keisha. Go find a woman that will cooperate with you and make you.
But you keep talking about Keisha and giving her attention. And all I'm saying, all the twerking on. I just watched Mr. Z, and he pulled up a whole bunch of crazy looking broads who then went to Thailand, and they over there doing what they do, being themselves. And I'm not finding. I think people can be free agents. People can be whoever they want to be. But the thing is, you got to go and look for what you're looking for. My husband was looking for a woman who cooperates. He was looking
Oh,
for a
oh,
woman
wait, wait,
who
say,
is on
say
his
that again.
program.
Say that again. Say that again. What did you just
My
say?
husband, my husband was looking for a woman who cooperates.
Whoa! You know I've been saying that since I got on YouTube.
They will show up, BGS. That's the point.
No, they
They will
won't.
show up. You tell these dudes that don't they're know none. No, no. You said even Mr. Z just told me where are the women at? Where are they at? And I'm like, dude, you just don't have access because you're not at the level to have access to those type of
Oh,
women.
you
And
got to
that's
be.
the truth.
Okay. I mean, okay. You know what actually convinced me that that's bullshit?
What?
I was in Guatemala for like 3 months. Okay. Oh,
We
oh,
talking about
oh,
black
whoa, 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 whoa,
American.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Black
whoa, 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 whoa.
American.
Look, are you gonna let me finish? Go ahead.
Yeah,
It's
I'm a
your show.
listen. I'm a listen.
It's your show. Go ahead. Go ahead. What was I gonna say?
No, I'm a listen. I want to hear
No,
what
no,
you
no,
gotta
no, no.
say.
You interrupted me. It's your show. Go ahead. Finish what you gonna
No. I want to hear what you gotta say.
say. Okay. Because your show, I'm gonna let it be your show. Okay. Because you asked me
I'm
a question.
quiet. I'm
Okay.
quiet to hear what you gotta
Okay.
say.
Okay. I was in Guatemala for 3 months. Okay. What I
Hmm.
saw is, and every day we'll walk by this big ass fence, right? It's got to be like more than a block long, right? Covered. I never knew what was behind that fence. It was 110 shack houses where people lived, right? Where families lived, okay? And I noticed the Guatemalan women, they had nothing, nothing. They're the most cooperative, meek, kindest women I've ever seen on the planet. Ever. And they had nothing. I've seen them on Saturday nights when the guys work his ass off for 12, 13 hours in that field, get drunk, okay? He can barely walk. Mama and daughter would go get him and gently hold his hand and walk him back to the shack, okay? Back to the neighborhood.
Okay.
I've never seen that in my entire life in a black community from black women ever. And these people had I do when I say nothing, they slept on a dirt floor. They had no windows. Okay, they didn't even have a door. They had nothing.
Okay.
Where's that come from?
They have a sense of duty and they know responsibility towards that man because he's providing everything properly.
And they worked in the fields just like he did.
Okay.
I saw
But
him.
notice that you pulled in a conversation about people who are in poverty,
Okay, okay.
people who are also struggling. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about a new path. I'm talking about a new path of prosperity.
Okay. What I'm asking, what you said is that people and most black people are working. Okay, the vast majority of black men are working. Okay, about 80%. They're bringing in some kind of income. Some are actually earn way more than that, like Mr. Z, right? Okay, earns way more than that.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, at what level do you have to spend to get that kind of cooperation, or what level? When
I
when
would.
when other people don't have none of that.
Okay,
Why is
so
that?
let's. I'm not going back to slavery and none of that. We are
We
unique.
talk about right now. We talk about because this
I
when I did
know.
that.
I'm
We talk
talking
about right
about
now.
now. I'm talking about right now, and I'm not going to go through the history of why we're a little different. I'm not going to go through that. You already know why we're a little different.
I, I, I,
There's a
I
tweaking. Hold on. There's a tweaking that needs to happen. And
okay,
what I'm saying is you are avoiding the tweaking. And I will argue with you and say that the talented tenth is the tweak that the Negro needs. The
okay,
talented tenth is be as educated. I'm going back to W.E.B. Du Bois. Give me a second, BGS. Going back to W.E.B. Du Bois.
mm-hmm,
What do we need to do? We need to have a plan. We need to have a program. In a certain extent, we need to have black supremacy at the center of our mind. We need to understand that we are the most talented, the most capable, the most able. We are uniquely situated in America to win. We got to have an attitude change. That's what I'm telling you. And when we have an attitude change, we have to find, no matter what it takes, a woman who meets our same energy. I need to, as a woman, find a man who meets the same energy. That means he has to come from a strong family with a strong value system. And those two, me and him together, understand that we have a plan together. He is the leader and I am the follower. He leads and I submit to his will. That's the thing that I'm talking about. And y'all don't want to deal with that. Y'all want to have these poor ass men. Hello? Can you
I'm
hear me?
listening.
Okay, I'm
You're
sorry. I didn't
talking.
know.
I'm
I didn't
listening.
know if my
Well,
phone
you
went
want to
out.
interrupt you or what?
No, no, no. I thought my phone went out.
I'll give you the courtesy. Okay, to let you know I'm still listening. Okay.
I'm a woman, so I'm used to somebody, saying things. Yeah.
I know. It's called
I
emotional
need an
labor.
uh-huh every so
I
often
know.
so
It's
I
called
can
emotional
keep.
labor. I know. I do. I teach this all the time.
you,
Okay.
I think you're addicted to my emotional labor, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really do. I think you're
I'm
addicted
used
to
to
it.
it. I'm used to women like you. Okay. I'm giving you grace. Okay. I'm doing my due diligence right now.
I like talking to you, BGS, because I think you have a lot of potential in the world, and I just feel like they tweak
I've
just
already
that one little thing, that one little
I've
thing.
already reached my I've already done what I've already done what I set out to
You've
do.
got
Like
so
this.
many men
Wait,
that
wait, wait,
follow you. Don't say that.
wait. Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
What I set out to do, I've already done. I did it in 5 years. Okay. I've already done it. I did the same thing on the continent. What we set out to do on the continent, we did within like 7 years. Okay. We've already done it. This is my second go round. Okay. The- with the politics, my third go round. Okay. The thing is,
Okay.
my thing is, how do you change the worldview of people? Okay. Because the worldview is like cement. How do you break up the concrete and change the worldview of people?
That's hard. It's really hard. Really
So
hard.
I looked at your video, right? You're into propaganda. How do you do it?
Oh,
Ooh,
I shame people. I talk shit to them, make them feel bad, expose them, present
okay,
the facts.
okay. If you don't want to shame them, okay, because you can't do it to women because they'll turn off and they'll run the other way. Okay, if you want to slowly but surely change a person's worldview, how hard is it? How long do you think it takes?
The rest of the world is very difficult, but you have
I'm
people
talking
that
about a
hang
group.
on. Hold on, BGS. You
Hold on.
got people that hang on to your every
No, no, no,
word.
no, no, no. I'm asking you a question as an expert. Okay, any group. I'm not talking about my group. Any group. How do you do it?
Hard as hell. It's hard. As a teacher, I know you can't. You
How
can. You
do you
damn
do it?
near can't. You
How
can't.
do you do it? You can do it, but how do you do it? You can do it.
You
I've
show
done
them
it.
a better way. You show them a path of possibility. You
Hmm.
encourage them. You give them the tools to do it. You show them success and who can do it and how they did it. That's the best thing. But most people, they don't have it in them to be strong enough to fight through what's not normal to them.
And you also show them the negative of where they came from. Okay.
You said show them the negative of where they
Of
came
where they
from.
came from. Yes. In other words, a lot of people, a lot of guys don't want to believe the truth about it. They know it internally. They know because they actually experience. But the thing is, it can't be every woman. It can't be all women. It can't be most women. They don't say that. Okay, because they hear that all the time. That's why you show it. Okay, because I get with the men internally, right? That's why I love the passport bros. Okay, run the experiment. You think it's the men inside the system that are the problem, right? Okay, that they're dusty, they're unambitious, nobody likes them, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, take them outside the system. Take Jamal and Keisha outside the system, and in a neutral environment, right? Like you would run a science experiment, right? Okay, see what happens. That's what Passport Bros is doing right now. Okay, they're outside the system. Okay,
Mm-mm.
they're outside the system in somebody else's environment that's neutral. Okay, see who thrives and who fails. What happens?
Mm-mm. That's a bad.
Why?
Ooh.
No, that's where we run experiments all the time.
Ooh. You can't run experiments on that.
You
Once
do.
again,
You always do every experiment that I've been taught since I was in middle school. That's where you run it. It's
let
got
me
to be
tell you
neutral.
what. That's not a control group because let me tell you what's going on. I made a video on this the other day. I know this close to my heart. I've seen it in person. I know a lot of stories and situations. BGS, that's not the answer. Telling them to run away from their problems. Hold on. They're telling them to run away from their problems or what they perceive. Like I heard Theo Walk, I get treated so bad here. No, demand your respect where you are. Stand up as a man, a black man in America, and demand your respect. Running away to another country is not a fucking answer. Let me say this. I know a lot about passport bros. I've seen them. I know them. I smell them. I know they look like a mile away. The problem is they are trying to utilize money as leverage to get women to like them. And the women like the money, they don't like the man. You can't build shit from that. That's why them women come here, they leave your ass, they stay there, they still got a boyfriend. It's not going to work, BGS. That's the wrong answer. But go ahead.
That has nothing to do with what I just said about the experiment. No, you got a that's a thunder. Is that a thunderstorm in the background?
Yeah, it is. I put mute on so I can hear
No,
you.
it's okay. I just wondered what it was. Okay. Um, my thing is, all over the world in different environments. Okay, you run an experiment and see what happens. Okay, and it just sit back and see what comes back. And what comes back is that black women in America cannot adapt outside this environment, and they don't. You hear it all the time. But
Black women cannot adapt.
yeah, they haven't been able to.
Okay.
And
All right.
so the problem is not the men because guess what? The men go out there and a lot of them don't even come back. Okay, I
But
got
are they getting married? Are they forming family bonds? Are they actually building
I got
strong?
yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 20 guys out there that are married in different parts of the continent in Asia. Okay,
How
Theo
long?
Waff.
How long? How long?
Okay, Theo Waff was actually married for 20 years to his Japanese wife. Okay, before she died. Uh, what's his name? Passport OG. Was married 15 years to his wife. Okay. I got another brother. He's out there in just got out of the Navy. He's been married 15 years to his Japanese wife. Um, I've got 3 or 4 brothers in the Arabian Gulf. Okay, they've been married to their wives for like 10 years. Okay, I got a bunch of brothers on the continent that went over. They moved back there and went over there and got married. Okay, they've been there 15 years. Okay, been there.
So are you saying that the majority of the answer lies in going somewhere else and finding
No,
them in somewhere else? Is
no,
that what you're
no,
saying?
no. What I'm saying is, okay,
Okay.
okay. If you run an experiment right inside, the system, right? Okay, you're trying to determine where the problem is. Okay, you have to isolate that problem. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, and the women say it's the men say it's the women, right? Okay, so
Hmm.
so you take them out of that system, put them into a isolated culture, just like they would do it in the medical field, right? In a neutral culture, and see what happens, and see how the culture responds to them versus the women, and vice versa. Okay, it's not the men, and I know why it's not, but saying it's not the men. When I told brothers in passport bros, well, first thing I tell them was one, okay, don't go over there. If you want to go over there and trick and stuff like that and do sex tourism, that's fine, okay. White men have been doing that for 400 years. Okay, that's fine. If that's what you want to do. Fess to it and admit it. Okay. Now, if you want to be a passport bro, as they call them, and actually eventually move there and get a family or not get a family, if you don't want a family, it doesn't matter. Okay. Passport bro doesn't mean you have to go over there to get a family. Some do, some don't. Okay. The
I'm
thing is,
listening.
and it's a real simple equation. Okay, especially when it comes to the third world. Okay, men are buyers, women are sellers. Men are
And you
buyers.
think, and you hold on, and you think that don't
Hold.
exist? You don't think that exists in the United
It
States?
does. It does exist in the United States, but you didn't let me finish what I was saying. Okay, men are buyers, women are sellers. Okay, does it make sense for a buyer to go someplace else and get the same product for 10 cents on the dollar? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Does it make sense for a seller to go abroad and sell their wares for 10 cents on the dollar?
No.
Therein lies the difference. Therein lies why, number one, why it works for passport bros and why it doesn't work for passport sis. Real
Okay.
simple equation. And the
This
way
is.
the way black men have been trained in the society, because I'm a black man, okay?
Hmm.
When I first started listening to white dating coaches, it blew my mind. Okay, the way they express just pickup artists, what they wanted out of the women, what they demanded out of the women, what they expected out of the women, it was nothing like what I actually experienced with dealing with black women. Okay, nothing. I said, God damn. I said, wait a minute. Okay, so I listened to Asians and Latinos and say, wait a minute, wait a minute. I said, this doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, now black men are expected to do all these things for their women. Okay, and this is the standard that black women have for their men, right? But these other groups of women don't have the same expectation or standard. So why is that? Why is this? Why is this upside down? Or why is this that way? And I've talked to a whole bunch of guys that, because I've got 50,000 men subs, right? So I talked to thousands of guys, right? I actually talked to them even before I had a channel. Okay, What? Okay, when you get with Becky or Marie or single, whatever it is, okay,
Hmm.
what do they expect out of you? And I said, not even a tenth what black women expect out of us. It's not just money; it's more than that. Because I talked to a Kenyan woman. I actually had a discussion with a Kenyan woman today, and she sometimes she shakes her head like, okay, what's wrong with black women? Because she hears.
Mm.
Because in other words, first thing I heard from Filipinos, Latinas, African women is that black women are mean. First thing I hear, they're mean. So why?
You.
I hear that from them. I say, why are they so mean to you guys? And we don't.
Mm.
And since we've been raised with y'all, we don't interpret it as mean. So we just say that that's the way they are. They're not mean. They're brought up that way. That's the way they talk to us.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. You have this narrative about all black women in a stereotype. I'm gonna keep going back to W.E.B. Du Bois. I'm going to keep going back to how does a black man find exactly what he needs where he has already put his feet and his roots.
Hmm.
I'm going to keep going back to that because
Okay.
what I think you're doing, in my opinion, is you're giving these brothers escapism. Instead of them reaching to the highest standard and level that takes work, if his family has not put him at that level, it's going to take double, triple work. And the shortcut that you're telling them is you can go to a country and find a poor woman because she is already culturally indoctrinated to understand that men are the providers. And as long as you bow down to a man, then you actually have power that you've naturally gained because you're male. That doesn't work in the United States. You know that, and I know that. Bowing
So,
down to someone just because they're male is
mhm.
not the answer.
so,
The
so,
answer in
okay,
America, let me say this, the
okay.
answer in America, if you're going to stay where you're from and not spend plane tickets and keep trying and running through women, because it's not that easy. Lots of them women don't like those men. Lots of stories of them women coming here, playing a role, and then leaving those men, heartbroken, exploiting those men. What I'm telling you is a strong man can stay where he is. He can have an education. He can be a hard worker. He can be a man who has purpose and all of that. And he can find his fucking match. That's what I'm telling you, BGS. That's your glitch right there.
No, it's
You
not.
don't think,
No,
you
it's not.
don't think, yes, it is.
No,
You
it's not.
don't think that a black man can stay in America and he can find his equal who will cooperate, and not only cooperate, she will be submissive to him. I know that exists. I know it does.
It does
I know
exist.
it does.
The thing is, why should he work that hard? Why?
He doesn't have to work that hard. It's about access. This is the part you're missing. It's about access, BGS.
Uh,
You're
What?
not telling these guys that they don't have access because they have not arrived to the level where they can have access to such women.
What?
And I'm
What?
not saying these women are
Hold
going to
on,
kiss
no,
your
no, no.
ass. Go
Okay, no.
ahead.
What level? What level is that?
Well, part of it is that some of these men are from broken homes. So they don't
Oh,
even know, let me be honest, they don't even know how to be men. They don't know how to operate as a man because they didn't have a father, whoever's fault that is. They don't know what patriarchy is. They can't establish a patriarchal household because they've never seen it before. They don't know how to be strong with purpose in and of themselves. This is the glitch right here. If you let me tell you something, the most sex to a woman like me, the most sexiest thing in the world is a black man who has a plan. He knows who he is and he's strong in that. That doesn't mean he's an asshole, he's arrogant, none of that. But he has a plan and he has a purpose. And he's already on his purpose before I meet him. And when I come across him, I say, oh shit, what is that? I recognize what it is.
okay. What
And I
about?
lean in. I'm just telling you, I lean in. I said, ooh, what's that? Let me look closer. Let me make sure this is what I think it is. I said, ooh, I like that program. I like what he's doing. How can I be part of his plan? How can I find a way to slip myself in and be in flow with him? How can I do that? That's my goal as a woman. It's to find a man with a plan and a purpose. And I know he's going towards greatness. And whatever he wants to do and however he wants to meet his mission, I, as a black woman, am with it. I'm with it. There's no question. And that's what I'm saying. You're not teaching these men that there are women like that that are out here. There are women out here like that. They don't have access because they don't have that patriarchal structure. They don't have that confidence. They don't know what it looks like. They just talking about something they have no clue of because they didn't grow up with it. And when you have women that grew up with patriarchy and they grew up with strong fathers, they know what that looks like for a man to say, listen, baby, we all going and we're going to get a new car. Watch me pay for it. We finna buy a house. Come on, my wife. Let's buy a house together. Let these kids watch.
So where?
They
So where?
don't know.
So where are the women raised?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to meet your
No, no, no,
match.
no, 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 no. The men and women are raised. Boys and girls are raised in the same family. Where? How are the women actually raised?
You, okay. That's why I said access is everything. Nobody, people don't understand this. Access is everything. Okay, I'm gonna give
Hmm.
you a perfect example. Let me give you a perfect
Okay.
example. I'm
Okay.
living in a
And,
black
and, and,
community.
and simplify it for me, okay? Instead of
I'm gonna simplify it for you.
thank you.
Where are these women? What
Hmm.
did what did what did what did Booker T. Washington say? He said, "Throw down your buckets where you are. That's where they are. If you reach a certain level, you have
If
access."
you reach a
Okay,
certain level, okay, what level is
that's
that?
right. And if you haven't reached a certain level, you are in a safe environment. You buy a home as a single man or whatever, and you put yourself around a network of people who are all educated and who all have, you know, a flow of money and resources and stuff like that. You put your buckets down where you are. I did not date outside of my social class. I dated within my social class. And there was a plenty and abundance for me as a black woman to choose from. For my husband, there was plenty and abundance. I'm gonna give you an example. My neighborhood is 400. Do you know how many of these people? Do you know how many people in these neighborhoods they actually have their grandson dating another young woman that's in the same neighborhood? This is where we meet each other. We meet each other where we are. And that's what I'm telling you. Your guys are not where the women that could meet them are. They're not there. If they was in that environment, they have access. You not see that, BGS.
There's not many neighborhoods like yours, even in Atlanta, are there?
Oh my God, there's tons of them. I keep doing all these drive arounds all the time.
Okay. We're not even going to do a population breakdown. Okay. Okay. We're not going to even expand that out to the rest of the country. Okay. You have almost as many black people in Atlanta that in Los Angeles that you have in Atlanta. Almost as many. Okay. Spread out. Uh, Windsor Hill. We have those enclaves, those black enclaves that you talked about. Okay, with them houses and stuff like that. Okay, in Windsor Hills, Baldwin Hills, and places like that. Okay, they exist. Okay, but saying it's not the majority. Okay, like you said, it's the talented 10. What about the other 90%? What do they do? How come they're not developed? What happens to them? That's why I told you about how you earn stuff and where does that come from, right? It's a very simple plan, okay, but nobody enacts it. Even in my own family, okay. My daughter was actually on an Ivy League track, okay, but her mother killed that. My daughter, other daughter, was actually supposed to be a doctor. It was going to take the Cupid actually become a doctor, okay. Her mother killed that. I know that happened in my own family. Had nothing to do with access. Had nothing to do with anything else, right? It's mindset. How do you get rid of that mindset?
You have to pick women who have the right mindset. I keep going back to that. You okay? Let me tell you. Let me give you a little background. I'm gonna make it fast. I know you don't like me to talk too long. I'm gonna honor that.
Okay, okay. Make the story short this time, okay?
Very short. I'm gonna make it very short. I decided I wanted to be married, and I wanted
Mhm.
to have a man of a certain quality.
Mhm.
So in my social circle, the people who are like me, who think like me, who have
Mhm.
upward progress,
Mhm.
among those people, I started to socialize. That's already going to siphon out some bullshit, okay?
Mhm.
And among those people, I came across my husband. And I already had my standards as a black woman set, I would say a black American princess, a black woman from a middle class family. I
Mhm.
already had my standards. And when I saw him, I said, ooh, damn, that's what I'm looking for right there. Bam. And I investigated. He was a black man who was already invested, knew about money, how to handle stuff, had two jobs, one professional and one blue collar job, and educated. And then I said, "Ooh, his father is educated. His mother is educated. He grew up in a solid family like me. I met his family, and I said, you know what? This is where I need to be. This is my level. Now all I got to do is figure out how." I chased him. He didn't chase me. I chased my husband because he had multiple women. I had to prove myself. I had to fight and had to be like, I'm the last bitch standing. I'm just telling you the reality. And
Mhm.
this is what your guys could have if they was in the right position. This man already was 20 years old when he bought his own home, 4 bedroom house. And I was like, and 4 cars. I'm like, whoa. I'm just saying. And that is what attracts women. You got to be in the right place with the right resources and the right network, and you will find those women. They'll chase you down. They will compete for you. You're not telling these guys that. I'm just saying,
How,
even like let me give you an example. I'm
okay,
just
okay.
saying, a
Oh,
brother like Gabe. I'm gonna give you an example.
you said you're gonna
No,
make
I'm
it short.
done. I'm done. But I'm just giving you an
Make it
example.
short.
A brother like Gabe. If Gabe was single,
Mhm.
if Gabe was single and me and him were friends and he was in my network, I'd be telling my girlfriend, girl, you want to talk to Gabe? Gabe got his shit together. I'd be recommending bitches to him. You see what I'm saying? All of my girlfriends, I'd be like, y'all want Gabe. I'm just telling you, that's how it really works in the real world among the
What
talented 10.
what
We looking for
okay,
success.
okay, okay. What
That's
percentage of
all.
people is that?
I don't care about percentage. I'm
No, no,
talking
no, no,
about
no, 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 no.
moving.
no.
No.
Answer my question.
So you want to be a sewer dweller and you want
No,
to preach to the poor.
you know
Okay,
what?
fine.
You know what? I don't preach that. Okay, most of my guys are not that.
You just said they were all CIA, cops, educated. You
It,
said they were all these things, tech guys, they're
IT,
high income. That's
IT,
right.
IT engineers. That the problem is not women. They can attract women
Black women.
if they want them. Yes,
Then what's the problem?
is the women even? I'll give you take KMS, right? Okay, KMS was an athlete in college. He's an engineer. He makes $500,000 a year. Okay, He's married to a woman. I think she's a federal something. Okay, federal investigator. I forget what title she has. Right. Okay. And he said this on open air. Okay. He has the same problems. Same problems. Why do you think he's part of the? In fact, he's one of the biggest persons on Mr. Z's channel.
He's got all this going on, and he can't find no
He's
women in
married.
America.
Oh, he's married. We talking about with 3 kids. He's married.
Okay, so then why is he over there?
Hmm? It's
Why is he over there?
because he wants to understand the woman that's in front of him.
She's what color is she?
Black.
What issue is he having?
But
Generally, generally. No, generally.
the uncooperative, domineering attitude that she came with. Okay, that
Why did he pick her? BGS. Why did he pick her?
because
Why?
is because she had talent. Okay, she had a career. She was educated. And he wanted to have black kids. Otherwise, he wouldn't have picked her. Pickings,
See,
the pickings are slim. Okay.
nah, 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 nah. I'm not
I
buying on
I
that.
I have okay. Basically, I don't know exactly how many, but I have at least I got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 doctors, MDs. Okay, doctors. Okay, I got at least 10 PhDs that I know of. Okay, 10 that they're doctorates. Okay, 10 that I know of.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
I got at least 10 lawyers. Okay, I got about 20 psychologists that I know of. That would
You
actually
got all these educated brothers, but they can't find a black woman to act right. That's what you're
some
telling me.
some of them are married, some of them are not. But the thing is, that's the underlying attitude that these women come with. Just like Michelle Obama. She's she's my isolated case. Okay, there's no reason she should act like that. Okay, or say the things that she said. But why does
I don't like using celebrities BGS. I really don't.
I use her as a case study because there's no way because they always say if you achieve a certain level of success, you shouldn't have these problems, right? Okay, can't go get no higher than Barack Obama. Name me one
Okay,
guy that's at that level. One black
I
man
will
that's at
argue,
that
I
level.
will argue that you need to, as a man, have training from somebody like BGS who tells you, listen, this is how you discern. Somebody might be in your socioeconomic class, but they're not necessarily the type of woman that wants to be in communion with you, wants to be an equal with you. That's what I'm saying. There's a missing link somewhere.
No, no, no.
There's
I,
all this focus. Let me just finish. There's
okay.
all this focus on everything you don't want, everything that doesn't work. But where are the answers for what
I,
does work? Where are those answers, BGS?
there's plenty of answers about what does work. Things you have a counter narrative. They'll tell these guys to sacrifice themselves to the women that are not adequate. Okay, and the vast majority of so-called black women's in this most women, really women, period, in this environment are not wives. Okay, they're partners. They've been trained in this system to be partners, which exacerbates what was already there in the black community. Exacerbates it, and they go on TikTok, they go on the View, they go on national broadcast TV, espouse these ideas. So it's at all levels.
Why isn't it that you can't tell these guys, listen, there's this level, and you might need to get to this level socially, culturally, spiritual. You need to get to a different level than what you're at. You're going to have to do everything to push a rock up a hill, which is
Why?
what you're going to do
Why?
because they need to grow. Those men need to grow. And when they grow, they're going to be in environments where this is going to become easy. When they get in certain environments, they're going to be in environments that become easy. This ain't that hard, BGS. I'm trying to tell you, I
Okay,
know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
okay, we're gonna get into a little esoteric since you are a Gnostic, right? You're alchemist, right? Okay.
I'm an alchemist.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the parable of the sower
Uh,
in the Bible?
See, I don't have much biblical, but go ahead, tell me.
Okay. Parable of the sower is Jesus told this about the story, right? About the word of God. That's what he's actually highlighting, right? Okay. A sower went out with seeds, right? He cast his seeds in whatever direction, right? They say, and some landed on dry soil, sandy soil, and didn't grow, right? Some landed on barren soil and didn't grow. Okay. Some soil went landed in a swamp. Well, but a quarter of those seeds landed in what's called fertile soil. Okay. Guess what they did? They blossomed and they grew and they bore fruit. Okay. I'm telling guys, look for fertile soil wherever it may be, so that you can be content and happy. Because uh, I'll send it to you. I said your one true gift. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually bequested to you by your creator is your life, right? Okay. Your existence on this plane. Okay. My teacher told me that you're not here to, all the other stuff is external. Okay. Your one true gift is your time on this planet. Okay. Your time on this plane. Okay. To be
Okay.
content and make the best of it according to what you want. All these other expectations about what everybody wants out of you, blah, blah, blah. Bunk all that. Okay. Find your match unless you um, without hurting anybody else, and find that wherever that fertile soil is, go for it and find it, and then blossom and bear fruit. That's my message. Now, there's ways to do it. I give like 150 ways to actually do this. Okay. There's a bunch
Okay.
of ways I give to do this. You haven't even heard half of it. Like the octanes. Octanes is just one little piece. How do you get what you want from the octane of women that you're picking from? Because they all have different qualities. Okay. Which qualities do you prefer? Okay. Because a 92 octane is yourself, as you say yourself is, right? Okay. You're gonna be more demanding. If you want to be productive in business and stuff like that, and exceed beyond your limits, okay, she's the perfect woman for you. Okay. If that's not who you
Mm-hmm.
are, which most people aren't, okay, want to live a regular life, 87, which is a regular average housewife. Okay. That's what the octanes are about. Okay. Most people don't understand. Oh, there's got to be one better than the other. No, there's not. It's according to
Okay,
who
so
you are.
to your argument, if a man, you even said it, I listened to your whole stream the other day. You talked about the men who qualified to be with a 92 octane. And maybe that's what we're talking. I'm saying talented 10. We'll just go with your language, 92
Hmm.
octane. In
Hmm.
order for him, you said it, in
Yes.
order for that man to
Hmm.
be and meet a 92 octane, which might be his greatest desire, an
Uh-huh.
educated woman,
Hmm.
she's the worldly person, she's
Right.
exposed, she's
Okay.
classy, all those things,
Hmm.
educated. In
Hmm.
order for him to be with her, he's going to have to be someone she respects.
Yes.
He's going to have status. And all I'm saying to you is the blind spot, BGS. You're not telling these dudes, hey, you need to be a 92 octane. Why do you operate at an 85 as a man and you want a 92? That's what I see a lot of happening.
You
You got 85 men want a
ask,
92
ask
of
me the
black women.
ask me the question why again?
Why?
Because they want to be happy. Okay. They want to
But
be
you got to
content.
work. You got to
No, no,
work.
no. They don't have. You don't have to work if you want to be content. You can be a bum and be content if you want to be. I'm a
So
non-stick.
the shortcut
I
is
don't.
to take your ass to another country
I
and find a poor bitch and then pick her.
if,
Now
if,
you don't have to do any
if it's
work.
a
Be
poor bitch,
lazy.
if it's a poor bitch and you happy with that poor bitch, keep her.
See, you're not giving them the full. You're not
No,
giving
I
them the
am.
full gamut
I
of
am.
opportunity.
I am. I am. The octanes are the full gamut. What do you want?
What I'm saying is, you got 85 dudes want a 92, and they don't qualify, and that's why I keep saying access is
Okay,
everything. If
if
these guys are willing to
hold on,
do the
hold on,
work,
hold
go
on.
ahead,
Okay,
go ahead.
because I'm dealing with this in my own life with my daughter who's a 92 and a working class guy, right? Okay, and they love each other, but saying how come it doesn't work? It's because you come from two different classes. That's where the friction comes in.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I told guys about the octanes. Okay, why does it not work? Even though you like her, she's pretty. Well, my daughter's very pretty. She's 7+8, something like on that scale, because her mother was pretty. Okay, um, how come it doesn't work? It's because there's a clash of culture. There's a clash of expectations. Okay, there's a clash. How come it doesn't work? It's according to that's where class comes in, culture comes in, training comes in. Okay. But the thing is, you look at it as how come we don't tell these guys to be an 85 or 87 or 92? They might not even have the talent to actually get that high. Most guys don't. They don't have the drive or the talent to get that high. That's why there's so few of them.
Well, I mean, okay, let me be honest. You got a lot of dudes, and I asked this to Edward, and he went crazy one day. I said, "How many guys in your audience are 30 and under?" It was very few are 30 and under, because I think that there's an optimism that a lot of them guys have when they're younger, and it's the
Hmm.
guys who are in their 40s and up that are complaining and doing all this crying and making excuses and coping. In my opinion,
Not true. Like,
huh?
I don't have a lot of them, but I have a lot of guys out that come to me that are 17, 18, 19, and 20. Got a bunch of them. They're not the majority, but I got a bunch of them.
Okay, that's some. That's
I talk
some.
to them all the time.
I'm just saying, and you maybe at the end of the conversation, me and you just have to agree to disagree. But all I'm saying, ultimately, is I believe that there is a blind spot.
Say it again, black woman. You do what?
I
Say it.
believe,
I believe. Okay. There's a
yeah,
difference between believing and knowing. Okay.
I believe. I
Hmm.
can't know. I can't know because I don't
I
know
do.
all your
I know.
guys. I don't know what they
I know.
look like. I
I know.
don't know what they really working with because you
I
got
know.
people online that ain't always what they present
I,
themselves to
okay.
be. But the thing I'm saying is this:
Hmm.
I think the blind spot lies in not talking about the talented tenth, the 92 octane, the
Why?
work it takes. Kevin Samuels, let me give it to his credit. Kevin Samuels, even though he wasn't that,
Okay.
he actually spoke on it and he said, work your ass off, pour into yourself, build yourself up, build your network up, get your resources together, and then the world is your oyster. And that's all I'm saying. The
Okay.
shortcut of buying cheap hoes and hoping that they don't play you, that's not what black men deserve,
Okay.
BGS. Black men deserve better than that. They can do better than that. I see beautiful black men, amazing black men all day. I post on my channel about them,
According to whom?
I'm telling you
According.
what I see in the
No, no,
real
no, no, no,
world.
no, 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 no. According to whose metric? According to whose metric?
It's black women that y'all
No, no,
are
no, 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 no,
after.
no, 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 no,
So
no.
I'm a black woman telling
Wait,
you.
so in other words, according to your metric, right? Okay.
Well, y'all are after black women.
No, 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 no. According to your metric, okay. Have you asked them what they wanted?
Ask black men what they want.
Yes.
Regular, everyday black men. I
No,
think
no.
everyday black men.
Have you asked them what they wanted?
I know a lot of black men.
Have you asked the men that you talk about that's supposed to be on my subs? Have you asked them what they wanted?
Not yourself. They different. They different.
How?
They are.
How?
Because they're not already married and they're not already married to the right person.
A
So
lot
they're
of a lot
different.
a lot of them are married.
But they're
How?
not happy with who they're with. That's why they're over there.
They want to understand the woman that's in front of them. That's like I'm there over there with
My
us.
husband don't come to BGS looking for answers
I
because
didn't
my
say
husband is
we're
satisfied.
not talking about your husband. We're talking about the
I'm
guys
just
on
telling
my.
you,
Hey,
men
hey,
who
hey,
are
hey.
happy.
I'm talking about the guys on my channel. Okay, not your
And you
husband.
guys on your channel are married to women they're not happy with, and
Okay.
that's why they're over there trying to figure out where they went wrong. Be honest,
Uh,
BGS. Be
black
honest.
Black Guru is happily married to his wife. He ran for office a couple times in Chicago. He's actually a CPA with his own firm.
Black Uro is angry, and I don't know why he's so angry because he got a wife. I don't know why he's mad. I
He's
really
not
don't.
he's not
He is
he,
angry.
he's not
He cussed
angry.
me out. He cussed me out. Yeah, he
Why
mad.
why'd he cuss you out? What'd you say to him?
I didn't say nothing to him, particularly disrespect him. I was on Roger Report one day, and I was just talking. You have contempt. Look at you. How dare you say this? How dare you say? I mean, he went off.
What were you saying to bring that out in him?
Uh, Probably something similar. Like people meet people where they are, and you get what you deserve, which is the truth.
No, I don't believe that.
I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
And
I don't. I don't. You know, I don't talk crazy to people. BGS. I don't talk crazy.
oh yes, you do. I've heard you talk
I
crazy.
do.
You
You
talk
think
crazy to
so?
me. Yes, you talk crazy to me. You talk crazy before I got up here. I know you
You
do.
might disagree with me, but I don't think I say nothing real crazy.
You don't think, but what does everybody else think about you?
Well, I'm gonna just tell you. I think they need a lesson. Okay, fine. Oh, you see, I skipped over that. I had to skip that because we already know what they think. They think I'm some kind of. Oh, I got a guess. Hold
Why?
on.
Why do they think that, May?
Okay,
You can
BGS.
wait.
Hold on.
Now, all
You
right,
can
all
wait to
right.
bring me up until
I'm
he's
I'm
No,
done.
no, don't go
I'm
anywhere, BGS. Don't
I'm out.
go.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yes, hold on, don't go nowhere.
I'm not saying nothing
I'm
anyway.
I'm out. I'm out.
It's on you, man. You can bring me up when he
I'm out.
dip. I got some time.
You
Hey,
don't have
hey,
to.
I'm not
You
talking
don't
to you.
have
I'm
to.
not talking to you. Hey, man, it's
Can
on.
y'all? Oh man. Okay. Well,
I
I
was just
guess.
saying you could bring me up when he leaves. That's all I was saying.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, well, I guess we got time to talk now. Yes, you shouldn't have went nowhere. You can't be like that to the point where you can't have a conversation with another man. What are your thoughts,
I,
Dave? What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's just too much loser language, May. To be quite honest, it's just too. I mean, why is there an expectation that the majority of black men should have access to the most quality black women in the in their community? Like, I don't understand that.
I agree. I think you there's a pecking order out here. Those who work and
There,
those who are resourceful, you get what you give. I mean, that's just reality in life.
I mean, it was just so much. I've been in and out, but it was just so much bullcrap he was just saying that it's just like I don't even desire to engage. But was there anything that stood out in particular that you would want to talk about that he's saying? He was saying a lot of nothing. But
Well, okay, so I do give him credit for creating an understanding of the arcade. This is what made me interested in his different alter. I call it an alter world because he's very creative. BGS has created a whole world that explains a particular thing, and he's gone above and beyond through history to explain all of this. I give him credit for the creativity, but the
hmm,
octaves I give him authentic credit for because I do think it's very important for Black people to realize that we're not all the same. We do have pecking orders. We do have social
yeah.
class. We don't have the same fucking culture. I'm so sick of that. I'm so tired. Give him credit for that,
Well, you know
but
where
he's
where
not
where he was
applying it. How do
applying the
you apply it
majority.
though?
Let me
Huh?
tell you where he was applying it, May. He was applying it years ago for that show. Do you remember Issa Rae's show called Insecure?
I do.
So he, if you look back at his catalog, BGS used to make a whole bunch of videos about Insecure, and he would apply that Octane model to that show. That's how he got so many subscribers and his channel grew because he was
Mhm.
making content outside of the context of the black manosphere. So he was applying it to a black woman's television show, like Issa Rae and all those individuals, Issa and
Hollywood.
Lawrence. Yeah, yeah, Hollywood. So I thought that was interesting too, because that's
Yeah, and I
where
think I think when you start looking at
yeah,
Hollywood and you start looking at celebrities and famous people, that's when you go left because we can't relate to
right,
nothing they're dealing with. Nothing.
yeah, yeah. And I do want to comment because we were talking a bit about that on the PhDs. He always says, "My guys, I have PhDs. I have people like these are like I had said in the comments. There is no way that a PhD is attributing their academic successes to that of BGS. Like why does he feel like he has some type of level of ownership or some type of group, some official group that they've joined or professional organization when these individuals are just listening? Like subscribers on YouTube channels are not like people don't subscribe because they're getting something from you. People aren't subscribing because they're I don't know, they're proliferating like they're pushing forward their academic successes based upon what is coming from a BGS. So that's another thing that I've always found weird is that when he says these are my PhDs, they are not. These are people who have established their academic careers and successes outside of the confines of the Black manosphere, outside of the confines of BGS's channel. So just because they're subscribed doesn't mean that they're in some way subscribing to your ideologies or have ever contributed to their academic successes. I think that's crazy to me. That's absolutely nuts.
I mean, I agree too. I agree too. I have never looked at other people and been like, oh, like to be honest with you, a lot of my friends, female friends and male friends,
Yeah,
most of them PhDs. Most of them are.
yeah,
And I always say that I'm the least among my friends. I always say that, and
mm,
I don't feel bad or less than. It's just life choices. But
right,
it's not like an effort. But I had to make certain decisions. But I'd never ascribe my greatness to anybody outside of myself, not even my husband.
No,
What he
exactly,
accomplishes has
exactly.
absolutely nothing to do with me. It's what's inside. What have I
Hmm.
created? What have I, you know, done? What have I accomplished? It always goes back to that. You can't
Yeah.
take credit by association or osmosis, just
No,
proximity.
that's
No, no, absolutely not.
now. Now, let me tell you what he has produced. If he hasn't produced these PhDs, if he hasn't produced these highly educated, highly skilled black men, what has BGS produced over these years he's been on YouTube? He has produced AB Medias. He's produced Edward Anderson. He's
Oh
produced
wow.
Mr. Z's. He's produced those individuals. Like those are the individuals who are really have been really under his tutelage
Hmm.
and learning. And but then you look at them and then you look right, not a lot of education there, not a lot of career success, not a lot of no even visual things that black women would desire in a man. So it's like who is your real audience, or what is your real output of work on YouTube?
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying that I'm perfect or anything, or nobody's perfect, but when you look at that ilk of black men that BGS has actually produced, you can understand why there have been so many relationship gripes and so many relationship type issues, because those are not the black men that are out here making differences. They're under the tutelage of BGS. No, I'm sorry
Absolutely.
to be so direct, but I think that for men need to be very honest with each other. We need to be
Right.
very honest with each other. So like to kind of
And
be like, oh,
what
well,
are the
you know, he
points of
has these
honesty?
qualities.
What go to
Yeah,
it, Gabe. Go to it, Gabe. What are the points of honesty? What are they?
I mean, a points of honesty is that BGS is in ways, I guess, pacifying these black males to stay in the same position that they're in. He's
Yes.
he's 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 bringing reinforcement to their gripes. As you hear
Yes.
Era Anderson yell, literally yell in his vehicle, swerving through traffic in North Carolina, that like he'll reference a BGS quote, or he'll reference something somebody else said in the space, or what's it, Roger Report. He'll reference these individuals because they support his position. They support his position of anger towards black women, blaming the black women for everything. And that's why they celebrate times in which black women have taken L's, whether it has been through social media or even whether it's been career wise. Right? When black women were getting laid off, there was a certain rate there by the government. Why were they
Hmm.
celebrating?
I know. I was asking the same
It's because
question.
so you know I think that's a part of it. Those individuals, he pacifies them to stay in the same position. He's not giving them milk. He's not giving them meat. And I would say this, and I don't mean to be long winded, but I'll say this and I'll pass it
No, I
on.
want to hear what I want to
I
hear your thoughts clearly. I'm listening. Go ahead.
so I think that those individuals like a AB Media, Edward Anderson, I think that they're reflective of BGS. BGS is not a degreed individual. He's not a person who has risen up within his career pathway. He isn't somebody who has any type of outwardly success. I think a BGS and a AB Media and Edward Anderson and Mr. Z, they more align. And that's why I said in the chat, I think BGS is the messiah for the black male trench dwellers. I think that's
Damn,
his
damn.
audience.
He said.
That's his
He said
audience.
the Messiah for the black male trench dwellers.
Trench dwellers.
Wow.
I think so. And and I wouldn't use so many words like that if they don't if they wouldn't be so confident in in their trench dwellership, in their
Yeah.
like they're so like confident in thinking that whatever they're doing,
Dedicated is the word. Dedicated.
dedicated to it, but not realizing that, hey, you putting all this energy towards this content and towards and towards breaking down the black woman psychology and her negatives and ilks, when you're not moving forward at all in life. You're not moving forward at all. AB Media in the chat talk about, so you don't know who in my DMs. AB Media in the DMs are dry. Let's be honest here. Let's be completely honest here. All right. AB Media, you be on TikTok trying to shame, blame, and explain to black women about what they're doing wrong, and they're laughing at you. Those like you ain't out here debonair, suave. You listen. Come on, man. So like, let's just black men. We need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be
Got
very
you.
honest with ourselves and not
Hmm.
be pacified by YouTube messiahs.
I agree. And I
That's all I
think
can
another
speak.
point, I agree with you, Gabe. I think another
Yeah.
point of truth, a second point of truth.
Hmm.
To whom much is given, much is expected. You have to go
Yeah.
out here and get it. You just can't be the average dude and just be like, oh, I want to above average. It's the same Kevin Samuels thing. It applies to men
Right.
too. You can't think that you're going to get this classy woman, this woman who, you know, compliments you. She's
Hmm.
listening to you. Engaged with you. She respects you. You can't think that that woman is showing up and you haven't
No.
shown up for yourself.
No. She won't.
You can't.
And then
You
that's
can't.
why I hate every time that they bring up this whole thing of what is the percentage of black men who can raise above this or the percentage. Dang the percentages. Because most
Right.
people won't be out here. Like why are there percentages? Why is the majority such a statistic that they use in order to prove a point? When the majority are not going to be upperly mobile, the majority will not be successful. The majority will not find a successful mate, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
why is that your metric for success or for to prove a point? How many? What is the percentage? It don't matter.
Yeah,
You
I don't
need
buy that.
the thing, May, is that I think that's important. Is what I always tell other black men in my circle. You need to maximize your whatever potential, whatever
Hmm.
opportunity you have within
Hmm.
your own lane. You need to maximize your lane. You don't need to be looking at, hey, what's happening over there, or what are the majority doing, or what is this top 10, or what are the I don't know, the Elon Musk or the tech giant. No, you need to look at your situation, maximize your opportunities, and go from there. Right? I don't think these dudes are
Yeah,
maximizing where they currently are.
they're not.
They're being
They're not.
pacified to stay where
They're
they are.
looking. They're looking for a cheat sheet. They're looking for
Yeah.
an easy path, and I think it's lazy. And I think he's
Yeah.
encouraging them to be lazy. You to whom much is given, much is expected. You have to get out here and get something. And yeah, maybe women are. What's the word? What do they use? Women are wanting something all the time.
Yeah.
Hypergamous. Women are
Yeah.
hypergamous. And even old crazy ass, the Canadian dude who's a professor, I forgot his name.
Who's that? Who's that?
Um,
Who's that?
that's always talking. He's always talking about men's issues and incels and stuff.
I know
The
who you're talking.
Canadian professor.
Richard. Was it? No, not Richard. He's a white guy, right?
Yeah,
I forget his
I,
name, but
I do
I
too.
know who
You
you're
know what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about. Yeah.
He has
He
kind of a
even
higher pitched
said,
voice, skin, white hair. Yeah.
he even said, women are not wrong. Women are not wrong for looking for security. Women are not wrong for looking for stability. Women are not wrong. He said, if you can't get stability, if you can't lead, if you can't do these things, and women are not picking you, it's your fault. And that's the
Yeah.
truth. And on the flip side,
Yeah.
women, if you're not bringing nothing to the table, you do have to bring something to the table. You have to bring a certain attitude, and you have to uh, have an ability to cater to and cooperate with a man in a
Right.
way that works for him as an individual. And if you can't do that, you don't deserve a man. It's a give and take.
There needs to
And I
be a
just think you got
mutual
all these
benefit.
non-married people running their mouths.
Yeah.
They haven't had successful 20, 30, 15, 10-year marriages. So they're talking and they don't know what they're talking about.
No idea. And even the example of the quote unquote successful black man who chose a headstrong, what disrespectful black woman, and now he going to Mr.
Right.
Z's for what in the world? So you
That
got
part.
issues in your marriage. Listen, you got issues in your marriage and in your relationship. So you going online to surround yourself with other dudes with issues in like they haven't even made it to where you are. And you're looking for
Right.
advice and you're looking to converse with these folk. What in the
Right.
he he look at listen, he's that's you're setting yourself up for a divorce.
Right.
If you listen to these dudes and they got all negative stuff to say about black women and you seeing that in your black woman, come on. You need to work that out with her. How about that? How about you work
That's
that
the
out with
third
her rather
truth.
than working it out on a panel of dudes
Right.
who already have issues? Come on, man. Like
You
these
talking to
guys,
incels and
they're
gays
losers.
and men who are
They're
complaining,
straight losers.
and you think you're going to
Yeah.
get solutions out of them? Really?
Come on.
That's
Come
crazy.
on.
That's why I told him. He thought I was being funny. I said, my husband is not on your panel. My husband is not subscribed to your channel because he
Right.
doesn't need to do that. You understand?
No.
Men who are satisfied and who make good choices, they're not going to be in these spaces looking for answers. Y'all don't have
No.
the answers. Kevin Samuels didn't
They
have the
don't.
answers. They don't have
They
the answers. And
don't.
that's the third truth. You need to be following men who are where you want to be. That's the third truth. Nobody can talk
Right.
about.
Right. Because where is BGS? BGS is a black pilled monk. He's been monk. He said he's been monk mode. I don't know how many years he said he's been monk mode. Is that what AB Media wants to be? AB Media, do you want to be a black
Apparently,
pilled monk? Do you
yes,
want
he does.
do you want a eunuch out here in these streets? Like because BGS is beyond his years right now. He's looking at the closer to the end than he is towards the beginning. Where are you looking, AB? Why are you following somebody that's in a position where you aren't desiring to be? Or
I'm gonna
do
tell
you?
you. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell you a secret, Gabe. I
Yeah.
personally believe that BGS in his private life is a ladies' man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that
Well,
dude be listening to. I'm telling you. I'm not saying he married. I'm not saying he making family,
mhm,
and he's a patriarch. But I think in his private life, I think BGS got female friends. He love women. He love women too much. I think he got plenty of female friends. I think he's living his best life with women, and he's selling this bullshit to them. And I say that because Rolo Tomasi, it's not uncommon these people do this. Look at Dr. What's his name? Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder got a beautiful
that
black
guy's
wife.
weird. He's
He is
so
weird
weird.
with his big head,
What?
but Dr. Thunder's doing this shit for income. His wife is living her best life. He's been married for a long time. He's not confused. He's not dissatisfied. Dude is hustling. And I called him out a long time ago. So there are
That's
men who are on
crazy.
here who are living their best life with black women. They're doing it. They're loving it. They stay. They're not leaving. They're not going nowhere. They are enjoying black women, just like Rolo Tomasi. He's enjoying his white woman. He's enjoying his
Right.
patriarchy. He's enjoying his family. But what did he do? He got his ass on social media and he told him, "Man, go cut your dick. Go castrate yourself. Don't get no
Right.
woman. Don't have no kids." Wait a minute, hold up. Let's look at your life, Rolo Tomasi. And I'm telling you, in BGS's private life, I can tell he's a ladies' man. He likes the women.
Hmm.
This is some bullshit he's doing online. He's making a lot of
Or maybe
money
this is a
off of their
vent.
pain. Hmm?
Oh yeah, they definitely take care of him. They definitely
Yeah.
his followers definitely take. I think these followers are his retirement plan. Honestly, I think he is using them in order to stay up through the Patreon and through whatever donations he receives from his YouTube channel. That's why he plays it safe on YouTube. He's not looking to get kicked off YouTube like Obsidian,
No, no.
like a Tommy Sotomayor. He plays it very safe in the content that he puts on YouTube because they're taking care of him, his followers, his disgruntled followers, and it's just ugh.
BGS is balling. BGS is balling. BGS is balling. Between the morning when he starts and all the other stuff and the ask me, what's it? We play God, ask me anything. He's making $1,000 a day. He go over there on Art News. BGS is making $1,000 a day. This brother, that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's spending all his BGS is spending all his money on these women. Okay, you think making all that money as an older man? He ain't balling out. He ain't paying the
Yeah,
place. Shit.
and that's why,
He in
although I do
California.
think, yeah, although I do think BJ, I think he's a complete clown. I don't really blame him completely for the. I blame his followers more than anything else because
Right.
they are so mindless, man. They are so they are so mindless. That is crazy, and I think that's the intriguing thing about watching them. For me, at least,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
how far are you all gonna go into the delusion that BGS is setting up for you all? Like, how far are you gonna go? And that's where I'm like, let's see where this goes. That's why I like to watch from time to time.
Me
So
too. Me too. I think it's amazing. This man has
yeah,
created an alternative world,
yeah,
and these dudes are like buying into it, hook, line, and sinker. And
yeah.
I'm a person. I'm into like group think. I'm into like North Korea.
Mhm.
I'm into these intentional communities and cults. I just think the psychological stuff about it is very, very intriguing. And
It
he's a
is.
real life
It
cult
is.
member. And I just can't, I mean,
Right.
cult leader. I just can't help but being attracted to watching him build this world and not only
Yeah.
build it, but defend it. He's fucking defending this world and he ain't going to budge on nothing. I mean, no matter how much
And it
common sense you interject, he's not going to budge.
yeah, no matter how much common sense, and it's like the followers are like, right? Say for so like it's been times like if he says one negative thing about somebody, all his followers target that individual. They look to discredit them. Like it's
Yes.
but you could be the most successful person in your field, right? You could be the most successful person, but yet if BGS says like, no, he bad. All of them are like, yeah, bad. He bad, BGS. He bad. Like no matter what.
I can prove it.
Like I could I'm not trying to do this at all. Like I'm not looking for people from our organization, but I could literally hire somebody today if
Hmm.
they need an opportunity within engineering, something in cybersecurity. I could literally hire like people are literally throwing away potential networks that they could
Right.
connect with in order
Hmm.
to I guess satisfy their YouTube leader, which is nuts. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why are you doing that? BGS ain't gonna give you no job. BGS ain't gonna help you in tech. BGS ain't gonna help you with nothing. But yet,
Okay, so the question
a
is
no
BGS is
big deal.
helping them with
Yeah,
something. Hold up, Gabe. BGS is
yeah.
helping them with something. What do you think he's actually providing that they desire so much? What specifically do you think they're getting out of it? Because they're getting something out of it.
I think
Nothing
they
productive,
are
but yeah.
getting. I think they're getting like talking point NyQuil to
Damn.
help them sleep in their delusion. Yeah, yeah,
Damn, that's a
yeah.
quote.
Talking point NyQuil, like it puts them right to sleep in whatever delusion they desire to be in. Whether it's that all black women are bad, they're the reason for the economy going down. That educated black women are like evil, and they're all like mentally unstable and on psych medication, and they're in some way like I don't know. They hate black men. Like I don't know. They like he helps them with their negative ideas about black women in America. He helps them stay there.
Yeah. And they
Yep.
got options.
Talking
And
point
that's what he
NyQuil.
doesn't want to he doesn't
Mhm.
want to say to them, you have options. There
Right.
are certain women you can have. They exist. He tells them they don't
Yeah,
exist. That
they
blows my
do.
mind. He tells them that these women don't exist. Your ass out. And if you even find anything close, she's not even going to respect you. And I'm looking
Right.
at myself. I'm looking at my friends.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my community. I'm looking at people like you. There's so many
Yeah.
people that are proof and evidence that that's a lie.
Right. 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 And you remind me so much of folk that I've partnered with, whether through school or just over time. Like just the way that you kind of talk, you're intelligent, you don't speak crazy. I'm sure May isn't twerking on a counter in the middle in the middle of
Right.
a
I don't have
bar
an
somewhere.
OnlyFans. Yeah, I don't
Sophistication.
got
You don't have an
OnlyFans or
OnlyFans.
nothing. Yeah.
Some like you have some level of sophistication, and you're tactful and you're well spoken. Those are you aren't for an AB Media. You would like AB Media couldn't get you,
No, he couldn't.
or
He
Edward
couldn't.
Anderson couldn't get
Oh
a
no.
you, right?
No.
I mean, the thing about it is that they think that I don't know. Like I don't think all black men deserve the best of black women either. And I don't know
That's a
why
fact.
that's a idea that they have, that if she ain't this and that you couldn't get her. You couldn't get her. And that's another thing. Black men, we compete over the best black women. I
Okay.
know that you talked about your situation where you saw your husband and you went after him,
I'm in Atlanta. That's
right?
different.
Right.
I'm in Atlanta.
It's a
That's
little
different.
different. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So I was in, let's see. See, that's the thing. We were in a friend group and we were kind of like always around each other. So it was a lot of competition. When there was a new young black lady that came into that group, we was sharks.
Hmm.
We was sharks. So,
Okay.
there has to be a level of realization of, hey, is there competition? Are you in a position where a black woman would want to combine her life with you. Like come on.
Hmm.
So I just don't think that there's a lot of reality in a lot of what they talk about. There's
It's
not.
not. It's not. They're not dealing. I mean, like think about it. Edward Anderson.
Come on.
What experiences could he actually talk about that he's actually had as a
Come
decent
on.
black man? I'm not even
Come on.
talking about above and beyond with a decent black woman. What experiences can he speak from?
He's a black man with an attitude.
He's angry.
Come
He's
on,
feminine.
man. Y'all don't
He's
like
very
the
feminine.
black. I'm telling. If you going back and forth with a black woman, that is the thing that would listen. That dry her up the quickest. Being kind of going back and
Ooh.
forth, getting a little sassy, trying to get the upper hand verbally, over yelling at her. Come on, yeah, come on.
Mm-mm.
Quality black women don't like that.
Mm-mm.
Most women don't
Mm-mm.
like that, where they have to compete compete with compete in their femininity with another
Mm-mm.
with a man. Come on, y'all don't
No,
like that.
turn it off. Turn
So you
totally
know
turn off.
you gotta turn that. Come on. So yeah, what can he like? I
Yeah,
don't want
I
to
mean that's
cook
the
too
thing.
much.
You got
That's why I'm
no.
stopping
Don't get
myself.
tricked. You're right. Edward Anderson has no experiences. He
No,
mostly worries about fears of things he'll never experience. He worries about child
right?
support. He worries about divorce. Edward, you can't even get a date, dude. Like, why are
Yeah,
you worried about stuff that's possibly 20 years out? You haven't even stepped into 5 months of
right.
anything. And I mean,
Now
I could be
even
honest
yeah,
with you. I could see if I was even to stoop that low to even consider dating somebody. You can never know what you might come up with if you try to date online.
yeah.
You could run into an Edward Anderson.
That's
But
wild.
if he were to even talk to me on the phone, his tone, the high pitch,
Oh, yeah,
the ADHD, like
come on.
babble and all of that shit, I would be like, we can't even go on a date. He would never get past the phone with
Exactly.
me.
I mean, even looking on the other side, right? Even looking at the Ramils of the world, right? I mean, I used to have these
I don't know
conversations all
anything
the time.
about him, but I'm listening. I don't know anything about dude, but
Well,
yeah, I'm listening.
he's been involved in the sex industry before,
Oh,
and
okay.
he hasn't had an issue getting women. Right, that's kind of the high level, but I don't even think he's really up for a long-term relationship with a woman, like long-term or even married, because he's on this whole, I just want to use her to have my child, and then I want the custody. I want full custody. He says he's been saying
Oh.
stuff like women are just cattle that are there to be used. He'll say stuff like, I only spend 10 to 15% of my time with women. The rest is getting to the money and stuff. So I just don't think he has a long-term kind of temperament to deal with somebody who he's uniting his life with. So that's a bit different from an Edward Anderson. But at the same time, I also don't think he's fit to be a husband or have a long-term relationship. So I
I
he's got
agree. I
it's a
agree
lot of
based on that
different sensibilities
conversation
out
I
there.
heard.
Yeah,
Based on that conversation I heard. I was very disturbed by that conversation. Um,
yeah,
it told me a
yeah.
lot. I unfortunately I have lived, and BGS even said this, and I had to just kind of come to Jesus and say, okay, I
Mhm.
admit I've been living in somewhat of a bubble because I've only put myself
Okay.
since I was born around certain type of people, and I'm
Mhm.
around people like myself, so I have limited access to certain shit. Only thing I can refer to is stuff I done seen on TV, and I might
Mhm.
mess around and go to the wrong Walmart and end up around some folks that I'm not used to. But other than that, I
Mhm.
don't have much exposure. These are not my friends. They're not my family.
Which is good.
So
That's good. It's a
I
good
think
thing.
so too. I think
Yeah,
so too.
I do the same.
But
We ain't
but
around
it's
us
a
everybody. Why? Sorry.
yeah. I don't. No, it's true. It's true, Gabe. But
Mhm.
it gives me a limited perspective. I do admit that. So I can say I had to come to Jesus on that. I am limited in my perspectives. I only have this
Yeah.
one black middle class perspective, and I don't have the ability to appreciate folk from the ghetto or people who are lower class and what they think and what they believe.
Yeah.
I don't have it. And so I'm limited. I admit that. But I'm very disturbed when I hear people who don't have what I consider basic values. This idea,
Mhm.
those brothers had a conversation that gave me, I'm in my mid 40s. I should have been
Mhm.
exposed to this already, but I haven't been. And it was heartbreaking for me
Mhm.
to hear a group of black men think that children are something you just pick a bitch and
Listen,
have. Ooh, that hurt me so bad.
listen,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
listen. That no, that's how they. I mean, that's part of a lot of those discussions that go on, and it's been this way for years. There's been years that they've been talking like this about relationships and what you use black women for and everything. So it's just yeah, it's been disturbing. I used to go on the panels more and kind of go back and forth, but I kind of like I will here and there, but not. They're kind of set in their mindsets. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
not too much you could talk about. It just becomes an arguing thing and it just get goofy. So, but no, I definitely understand exactly what you're saying. But at the same time,
Yes.
I don't think we need to be around it. I don't think everybody need to be around everybody. I don't. I
We
don't think
don't. We
everybody
don't
need
need
to
to
be
be
around
around it,
everybody.
but online, boy, I can listen. I'd be like, what?
Yeah. This is a safe.
Oh
This
shit.
is a safe place to be to understand. See, but that's another thing that I've always been like. I've always been a perspective
Voyeur.
accumulator.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
perspective voyeur, perspective accumulator. Like I will sit like even I play basketball pretty often, like maybe 4 or 5 times a week. I'll just sit and listen sometimes if I'm waiting for a game and just listen to the conversations. I'm not looking to interact because these dudes are wild. A lot of these dudes are wild.
Right.
So
Right.
I'll just sit there and listen to perspective. I might give a oh dang that's crazy or something, but I'm just listening really. I'm like man, but in my mind I'm like dang that's a crazy perspective. How you think that that's gonna work out? Like I don't know, but it's a little bit different in public. But yeah, I'm always acquiring perspectives because I think it also helps us to kind of bounce it off our own standards, our own
Yes.
ideas to
Yes.
really kind of fortify or change or modify. So it's yeah, getting other people's
I think
perspectives
it
like
makes you
that.
more sophisticated when you
It
can
does.
actually be able to say, okay, let me go into my white male patriarchy mind. What does that look like?
Hmm.
So one of the things I
Hmm.
would rely on is Nick Fuentes. I know people think I'm crazy as a black woman for listening to him. I don't agree with him. But I tune in to Nick Fuentes at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock
Mm.
on most days because I want to hear. These are the men who make decisions. These are the men who are in Congress. These are the men who have power. I need to kind of understand. I grew up around white males, but I never understood them. You know what I mean? I just saw the results of what they do. And so I only listen to Nick Fuentes because that's just one perspective of
Hmm.
many that I need to understand and be like, what do white males think? And it helps me a lot in the work that I do as an activist. I need to understand
Indeed.
racist white men, And,
Uh-oh, I gotta get
and
to this baby. I'm sorry, man. I gotta drop. One
oh, okay,
of
go
these
ahead, go
kids
ahead.
gonna
Take
wake
care of
up.
your business. Family first.
Okay,
Understood.
absolutely.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, bye-bye. Mhm.
All right now. But as far as Nick Fuentes is concerned, I need to hear him because who am I talking to all the time? Who am I battling with in the state of Georgia? I am battling with anybody can pull up who wants to pull up. Feel free to come in and give your perspective or your thoughts. Um, and I think I like this stream because I had an honest, good conversation with BGS. I don't cut him off and try to make him look crazy. I feel like BGS has a lot of potential simply because he's very creative and people follow him. He's enthusiastic and people listen to him. And I'm just saying, you could still do your thing, you could still make money, and you could actually help these men be better. They're getting depressed and they're not making progress. And maybe that's not my place to say, but as I listen in for my own entertainment, I have to just say the truth is the truth. They could do better. They could be better. They could become more realistic. They could face some honest truths, and they don't. And that's because he doesn't provide those. He provides them comfort so they can stay the same, be the same, not grow, keep complaining. There's another path. There's another way. But BGS just does not want to take that path, what I call the path of a healer. He could take the path of a healer. He's taken the path of a um, pacifist, I would say. He's pacifying these guys. He's letting them stay the same. And maybe rightfully so, because to grow and to develop and to reach that next plateau, their highest level for what they say they want, it's gonna take all the energy in them. It's going to take their pure soul. It's going to take their pure soul. And maybe that's too much to ask because if they had that type of energy in them, they would have already expressed it. They would have already spent it. Okay. And so I appreciate Gabe so much. Gabe has no idea how much just watching him interact with people. He's not a simp. He's not a man who's catering to women. He's a man who's living a real life. He's an accomplished black man. He's a family man. He is what most of these dudes want to be. He has what most of them want to have. He's that brother. And having him present and having his own voice and expressing himself, it means so much. It's confirmation to me because I think that he and I have something very similar in common. We're both middle class, professional, educated black people. And we believe that we have to be responsible for our choices. We believe that in order to be successful in this life, in this country, you got to contribute something. And you don't get something for nothing. You got to put the time and energy in. You got to. You can't keep asking for everything and you give nothing. And I would or argue that that's what these dudes do. They want everybody to give them everything for nothing. They don't think they got to earn, they got to show up, they don't got to be responsible, they don't have to develop, they don't have to be more than they are. And I can say, even though Kevin Samuels wasn't all that, he wasn't what he was promoting. He was giving them a vision. This is what you want to work towards. This is how you got to act. This is how you got to be. He, at the very least, though he could not accomplish it himself, he was able to articulate that. And BGS refuses to acknowledge that you got to step your shit up. It is pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't care what y'all say. Anybody want to pull up, got a thought, got a comment, feel free. I'm here. I'm open. But I'm a healer. I don't know if I shared that with y'all. I'm a sound healer. I was trained under Deepak Chopra and another master sound healer. And sound is about vibration. And I help people heal by doing positive affirmations. And so I guess the natural part of me is I constantly try to push BGS. You have all these people who listen to you. They hang on to every word. Why don't you try to heal them? Get them out of depression. Get them out of this negative pessimism. That's the only reason why I bother BGS. That's the only reason why I bother him. Because he has that creativity. He has a spark. Nobody can take that from him. You can talk all kind of shit about BGS. You can say whatever you want to say. And a lot of that shit might be true. But one thing about him, he has enthusiasm. You don't get a cult out of nowhere, okay? You don't get a cult out of nowhere. People are listening to the enthusiasm. And that is the thing I'm saying. Take that same energy. Give these brothers the truth. Help them stomach it. Maybe you're not enough. Maybe you need to network more. Maybe you need to step your game up. Maybe you need to get out of the spaces you're in. Maybe you need to leave where you're from. It's going to take energy. It's going to take time. Maybe you need to get off the internet. Maybe you need to focus on yourself and your self-development. Maybe you need to work on your character. Maybe you need to learn how to actually be with a woman. Everything is hypothesis at this point. You don't want to have that conversation. We don't want to talk about truth and reality. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. And I'm being honest about that. I had growth and development that I needed to do to get to a new level. Y'all think it's easy? It's not easy. I'll give a perfect example. When I met my husband, my husband is a man who plans. He has purpose. He has a vision for himself. A single man at 27. And I was like, how in the world is he not already married? He's got this, he's got that going for himself. The man is so amazing. How come he doesn't have a wife already? He had lots of women. He didn't have to choose anybody. You understand? This is Atlanta. Educated, beautiful women. There are a dime a dozen here. Dime a dozen. You can have all the women you want if you're a successful man. He didn't need to choose anybody. Okay? My husband bought a home when he was 20 years old. He, at 20 years old, was living like most men at 50. Financial planning, all of that. Hard working, everything. Got his shit laid out at an early age. Educated black man from a middle class background, two parents. And I said to myself, how is it possible that this man is still single at 27? And it became my mission as a woman who lives in a city with too many women. It's brewing, overbrewing with women. I'm just being honest. I had to compete. I talked about that. I had to compete because there were so many different women to choose from. But I knew what I wanted. And that's all I'm saying. If you position yourself well as a black man, if you position yourself well, women will want you. Women will be looking for you. The type of women that you want. BGS isn't talking about that. Those exist in black women. He don't want to tell these guys that there's hope. Because guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to work harder. They're going to have to be at a certain level. So the level what they want. And maybe that's the thing he maybe need to do. He need to tell them, listen, you're not on that level. You don't work. You don't put the time in. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go ahead and you're going to have to set the level you at and the type of women that come with it. That's the level you choose. Everything's a choice. But don't tell somebody there's not an option. Don't tell people that you just can't have this. You can if you're willing to do the work. And did y'all hear what Gabe just said? Gabe talked about how he met his wife in a social circle. BGS ain't talking about that. When you get to a certain level, there is a social circle of your peers. You're going to be around doctors. You're going to be around lawyers. They're your friends. Your friends. You go to parties. You go to events, birthday parties, this, that, holiday events. BGS don't want to tell these dudes that shit exists. He acting like it's underground and unattainable. It actually isn't. I've met lots of people. I get invited to an attorney, a friend of mine, his attorney. He has an annual Christmas party. Okay? I get an invitation every year. It's a whole bunch of attorneys that are black males and females. This is how people meet each other. Professional organizations, conferences. When you get your shit to a certain level, you now have access. For those in tech, it's not a whole lot of black women there, but you start having social circles. All those different professionals, all those different educated people, family oriented people, people who are at the beginning of their life, not the end of their life. They'll be there. And see, that's another thing BGS is not talking about. You can't be an old motherfucker trying to show up for a spring chicken. Cut it out. Fuck out of here. This game begins early. You got to tell the truth. You don't get to show up at 50 talking about you want a 25-year-old. When you was at Morehouse as a sophomore, that's when you should have been looking for your wife. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? When you was in graduate school, you should have been looking for that wife. I'm going to be honest with y'all. By 30, these most desirable black women, they're fucking gone, okay? That's the truth BGS don't want to tell them. The ones you want, the childless woman, the educated woman, the respectful black woman, the woman who knows what it is that she wants to do with herself and how she can actually interact and engage with a man. Us women who are born to a mom and a dad, we're gone before 30. Okay? We're gone. We're married already. He don't want to have that conversation because a lot of these guys, they're 50, they're 45, they just now getting their shit together. They just now realizing what they want to do. They've already fucked up. They already got kids out of wedlock. Okay? They've already wasted 20, 15, 20 years of their life. Non-productive, got nothing to show for it. Spring chicken don't want nobody that's old just now figuring it out. And wanting a spring chicken is crazy. Why you want a spring chicken? What you got in common with a spring chicken? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's not gonna work. And her family's gonna look at it like, wait a minute, hold up. Dude is 50 trying to be with a 25. Her daddy gonna look at you like you're crazy. So you're gonna limit yourself to women who don't have a father, because a father is a gatekeeper. My dad was a damn gatekeeper. I showed up with somebody and my dad was like, hell no. Hell fucking no. That's not happening. So quality women come with consequences. They come with responsibility. You're not just gonna have access to the best. There's gatekeepers in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's unfortunate that BGS is telling these guys a bunch of excuses instead of telling them, dude, you gotta grow. You gotta be more than you are. You're gonna have to get into circles. You're gonna have to change and rearrange yourself to fit into those circles. Whoever you are today, if you're trying to ascend, you're gonna have to become somebody new. You're gonna have to actually learn how to talk to women, to have a conversation, to be a listener. You know, you're gonna have to do a whole lot of shit different. You can't be that same old nigga showing up late in life with a bunch of mistakes and issues and thinking that you're gonna get the best woman out here. It's access. BGS, I'm gonna say it again over and over. BGS, BGS, BGS. You have to tell these men they don't have access because they haven't put the work in. Okay. You don't have access when you haven't put the work in. Okay. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. Let me read the comment. What did the exposure say? Officer Meg wants to learn the psychology of white zaddy. I don't have any interest in white men at all. I don't worship white men. As a matter of fact, I don't like white men. I cannot stand white men. I push up against white male patriarchy. As a matter of fact, um, I detest most white men. If I'm honest, I think that they get a lot of power that is unearned and undeserved. And it's only because they have all these negative tricks and bullshit that they do. And they pigeonhole people of color in 1,000 different ways. And so, no, white zaddy is not part of my reality. I do not worship white men. I wouldn't touch a white man with, man, I could die and go to hell before I'd even consider. I don't worship white men. I'm so sorry. But one of the things I do is I say this, and I would say to BGS, maybe you need to stop focusing on negativity. Stop focusing on Keisha and all the things that black men say they don't want. Unless that's what they want. Like stop focusing on that. Stop giving it energy. Stop showing videos of that. And I say that to even SYSBM. Why do you focus on what you say you don't want? It's a form of insanity. Honestly, it's a form of insanity. Um, and I'm gonna end the video shortly, but I'm gonna talk about what I came to talk about. I have a video um, that I published, not a video. It's in my post. There's a white man and a white woman, and they are talking about their relationship. They're talking about this submission and dominance relationship. Now, it's very interesting because BGS said that black men just want cooperation, which is much easier, than what I would say is submission and domination. I have, since my husband introduced me officially, formally, to the idea of marriage and submission and domination. And it's not kinky, though it has aspects of that you can tap into if you want. And I'm not having a sexual conversation here. I'm simply saying that surrender can be a lifestyle, okay? And it's something I was open to. And it's something I naturally fell into because of my own nature. I have a very strong patriarchal father. I trust him with my life. And I would even say to a certain extent, I have worshiped my father. I think he is the most amazing person on the planet. Okay. And I'm very close to him. And I think having my dad be a military, very strong, stoic man influenced me in such a way that I did not want to be married to or be with a man who wasn't very, very similar like my dad. And so please don't let the smooth taste fool you. Y'all incels that keep talking shit to me. Oh, you're not whispering. You're not a submissive woman. Da, da, da. You don't know shit about me. Okay? You don't know a goddamn thing about me. You don't know nothing about me or my nature. You're not supposed to. Because we're on the internet and I'm just typing shit in the chat. Having fun. I'm entertaining my goddamn self. Okay? But I have to say this because I am sick and tired of these incels and weirdo men keep saying I'm beating my husband up and all these crazy things. My relationship with my husband is so opposite of what these men assume. And the thing is, they don't know. Like BGS said, they want cooperation. They don't even know what submission is, but they use the word, and that's his fault. He shouldn't keep telling them to use submission when they don't know the nature of submission. They don't know what power play, power dynamics are in a relationship. Everybody's going to have a marriage that reflects their own needs. There are people who are in partnership. There are people who cooperate. That's fine, okay? And that have its own give and take. It has its own give and take. Everything is not take, take, take. There's no relationship when it's take, take, take. First of all. But in my particular case, I find it very offensive to have these weirdos keep saying stuff to me about, like I'm some kind of crazy deranged, and specifically, like I'm gonna beat my husband up, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm mean and I'm dominant and all this. That shit is so fucking far from the truth. And I don't have to prove that to anybody. But what I can do is I can tell you that part of me getting married before the age of 18 had to do with being in a position where I wanted to be with an older man who is very much like my father, a patriarch, strong, guidance, support, stability. That's the direction I went in. My natural state as a woman is to be submissive. I can't change that. I can't deny that. That's my pattern. Proof is in the pudding. You can say what you want to say. Proof is in the pudding. Okay? But you have to have balance in all things. And it took me a little while to get that balance. I have that balance with my current husband. Okay? I've not lived any part of my life really as a single woman. Haven't. I actually don't know how to. That's the truth of me. I don't know how. Because my husband is my stability. My husband is my manager. My husband is my guidance. And I am in and of myself enough, no doubt. But if I'm honest with myself, who I am, this is the type of relationship I desire. It's where I'm most natural. It's most easy for me. I'm happiest when I have a strong patriarchal man guiding, supporting, helping me, planning, pushing me to be my best. Okay? If you refer to what I'm saying will go in one ear and out the other if you do not watch the video that I posted earlier. Some white man and a white woman, they're married, and they're talking specifically about the submissive and dominant relationship they have. And my husband is a dom. He was that before I met him. When I was, in my social circle, when I was introduced to him, I saw the energy of him. And I was naturally attracted to that very dominant, secure, confident black male that I saw in him. I'm naturally attracted to that. I'm not attracted to weak men who are not confident, thirsty and shit. I'm not attracted. My husband wasn't paying me no fucking attention, and it turned me the fuck on. He had access to lots of women, tons of women. He had plenty of women. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I had to work to get his attention. I had to. Okay. And so that's what I'm attracted to naturally is a strong black man. And I don't want to fuck with that. I don't want to play with that. I like it just like it is. So this idea that, there's no black women who know how to be submissive. There's no black women who know how to cooperate. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. What do you have access to? Do you have access to women who grew up multi-generations with patriarchy, with men who lead households? Do you have access to those type of women? Maybe you don't. Just maybe you don't have access and you'll never meet them. Like I said, they're far over the hill, across the bay. They're far away and you just don't have access. It's just that simple. I can't say that enough. You just don't have access. It doesn't mean it doesn't fucking exist. Okay? And this idea, it kills me on the internet. All these whispering bitches. I'm whispering. I'm submissive. That's bullshit. That's the bitch you need to watch. Submissive women, they have a particular desire. They have an attraction to strong men. And they don't challenge those men because they signed up for those men. They know what that is. They grew up with it. That's their daddy. They like it like that. You understand? There is no struggle. You don't have to make a woman submissive. She's attracted to you because you're dominant. She's attracted to you because you are dominant and she doesn't want to fucking change it. And yes, submissive women can cuss. And yes, submissive women can talk shit. Yes, submissive women will argue with you. Do not think for a minute this stupid ass stereotype that this red pill, a whole bunch of incels have come up with. This whispering bitch who wears sundresses with big titties popping out, putting makeup on all day. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. Don't fall for it. That's not real. Okay? That's some online marketing and branding bullshit. It's a fantasy, okay? Real people are real people. But I will say this. It's a beautiful thing if you can actually attract your likeness. Someone who comes from the same social class, the same background. If you didn't grow up with a mother and father, don't expect that you're going to be the best at creating and recreating a family of a mother and a father. Don't think that. You're at a disadvantage if you didn't grow up with a mother and father. You're going to have a very hard time imitating what that is because you're not the real thing. That's true. I would never, ever, ever consider marrying a man who did not grow up with a mother and father. That's my standard. A successful family. I would never consider that. See, that's the thing nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about standards. How can I expect you to be a father when you didn't have one? You are not qualified to be a husband to me because you didn't have a father. You don't know what fatherhood is. See, that's when it starts getting nasty because then you got to cut people off. You got to say, you're not good enough. You're not a match for me. That's the part that hurts. This is the uncomfortable conversation. Oh, you only grew up needing, you're thirsty, you're hungry, you're not used to anything. You and I don't match. I'm used to abundance. You understand? People have to be in the same vein. They have to have things in common. They have to have similar mentality. To whom much is given, much is expected. You have to find your match. And even within matching social class and matching mentality, you actually have to match soul to soul. Do you want the same things I want? My husband is a natural dom. He naturally is self-guided. He's clear. He's already on his path. He was on his path when I met him, been on it. I was attracted to him because I saw that was 27 when I met him. I think it was 20. He was 28. I was 26 when I met him. I was 26, and I zeroed in on myself. Ooh, I like that. He acts just like my daddy. I like that. He moves smooth like my daddy. He's clear. He's confident like my daddy. I like that. See, I'm a girl who knows what a strong father and a patriarch looks like. I like that. I like that. That's what I want right there. I know what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to change that. I'm not trying to push up against that. I'm trying to get with that. Right? And just because of the nature of Atlanta, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it is what it is. So women a dime a dozen like that. So I had to compete. I had to wait bitches out. Get on, y'all. Get the fuck on. Get the fuck out of here. I'm claiming this one. Y'all can't have him. I ain't never fought nobody, but I wasn't going nowhere. I'm gonna compete. And that's what you do. When something's worth it, you compete. And like Gabe said, when his wife came into, their social circle, there was some competition. That's what people do. When some shit is worth it and you know what you're looking at, you compete, male or female. In my case, in Atlanta, with all these women, hey, it is what it is. Now, I could actually be arrogant. I ain't finna compete for shit. Niggas gonna have to fire me. Okay, well, I wouldn't be married today. I'm just tell you that. I probably would not be married today. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be married. I don't take it lightly. It's an honor. And I have a lot of respect for marriage. That's what I know. Generationally, multi-generationally. That's all I know. That's my role. That's my purpose. It ain't for everybody. If you grew up, you grew up single mom, I'm the boss bitch. Hey, that's your that might be the thing for you. I'm an independent woman, but that's not what we respect in my family. That's not what I know in my family. I wasn't raised like that. Independent woman is a punishment to me. Now, am I stupid? No. Am I educated? Yes. Do I know who I am? Yes. I'm not stupid. I'm not lost. Can I survive on my own? Yes, I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to. That's a choice. I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. These idea of submissive and dominant and stuff, these dudes do not know what submission is. And so I'll say this. If you look at the video, and I talk about it in the video, if you look at the video, not I talk about it, but they talk about it. They talk about the idea that you as a woman, you can surrender because you have a smart, intelligent, capable, strong, purposeful man. And by just being with him in his vicinity, he makes your life easier. You can actually do what? Rest in your femininity. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to fight. It's not a matter of laziness, it's a matter of choice. And so I entered into my marriage with my husband, understanding as he taught me, which was not all new to me, right? What it is to flow. And that's what I'll call it, flow. And I hinted at it the other day when I was talking about, we have a reward, a give and take relationship. And they talk about that in that video, you know, they talk about that. The husband does not punish his wife. It's a power dynamic. It's an interplay. It's an exchange of energy. And guess what? You can't get that overnight. You can't get that overnight. This microwave culture, people want all of that. And I want to meet a bitch and I want her to do what I want to do. I want to be the boss to her. And she tell what I tell her to do. Da, da, da. That doesn't work like that. Men are being miseducated when they talk about submission. Submission is teaching. Domination is teaching. Having rules, expectations, understanding, boundaries, stability, trust, responsibility, boundaries, order, reward, give and take. That's part of it. But if you can't build respect overnight. These men are being miseducated by these red pill simps. I call them red pill, not blue pill simps, red pill simps. They're being uneducated by them, miseducated. Only a fool will tell a man that you deserve submission because you're a male. It's something in you that brings out something in a woman that is inclined already. She's naturally inclined. Y'all going and looking for women who are not naturally inclined to be something they don't know how to be. So who's the fool? Who's the fucking fool? Now, anybody who disagrees with me, you can pull up. I see Indigo floating, bring his sorry ass over here. But how dare these men who have no experience with women try to challenge me, try to tell me what I am and what I'm not? They have no idea. And I'll give you a little quick glimpse into what a marriage built on surrender looks like for a woman. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I'm looking for the most part, is a conversation with my husband. He tells me what the priorities of the day are. He manages the priorities. He sets the tone. He tells me we're doing this or doing that, and then we'll do X, Y, and Z. Or he says, look, you go do this and you take care of that today, and I'm going over here and I'm going to do this and I'm going to take care of that. He gives me instructions. He creates order so that we're on the same page and we're getting things accomplished. We're building together. We're holding things together as a team. That's how my day starts. Without that conversation of instruction, I'm lost. I'm just be honest. Because we're a team. We actually work together, doing things together. I need him to tell me what the priorities of the day are. That means he has a whole lot of decisions and confidence and leadership in and of himself to instruct me on what needs to be the priorities for the day. Everything from the garden to the business to the household to the bills, all kind of shit. Maintenance. Right now we got bats. He might wake up and tell me, May, call this number and make an appointment for the people with the bats to come. You see what I'm saying? Instruction, management. There's a lot of times I work, I'm a squirrel, I got ADHD. I'll be working, doing this, that, 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 and my husband can tell I'm getting a little frantic. You know what he says to me? He says, May, I want you to go ahead and go upstairs. We have a guest bedroom. I want you to go ahead and go upstairs. I want you to take a break. Or if I'm in a bad mood, he'll, or whatever. You can tell him whatever. Not feeling balanced or whatever. He tell I need a break. You got kids, they stress you out sometimes. They don't do what you want them to do. My husband will tell me, May, go upstairs. Not a question. He's telling me what I need. He knows my personality. He's intuitive. May, go upstairs when you finish cleaning the kitchen. Go upstairs, take a break for the rest of the night. Go watch you some good movies. He knows what I need. My husband manages my emotions. He knows me well. Do you think that that is something that I'm going to fight against? He knows me well. He has my best intention towards me. He has the best intention towards me. Do you think I'm going to resist that? When he tells me, he guides me, and he's helping me balance myself, become better, to prioritize, to do what needs to be done, why would I resist that? No woman is going to resist a smart, intelligent, capable male. This is a conversation that BGS don't want to have about submission. Most of these men don't want to have about submission. If you are a confident, smart, intelligent, capable, intelligent man, those type of women are going to naturally be attracted to you and fall in line. It's not about beating a bitch down, shaming a bitch, talking crazy, cussing, being mean, and all this other stuff. It's not about that. It was never about that. It's about management. It's about guidance. It's about a whole lot of positive things that these dudes can't even think about. They can't even imagine because from an unempowered position, all they're thinking about, all they're thinking about is how to enact some angry, rageful, uh, toxic behavior on women. And I'll be honest with you, I submit to you, maybe these men don't really like women. They're not worthy of women. They don't actually have a love and a passion for being with a nice woman. They don't know what it is. And because you don't know what it is, you probably wouldn't know what to do with it. And this is why you don't have it. You don't have access because you are not that. You're not there. She's over the hill and across the bay. She's far away in a place that you will never reach. That is a truth that is hard to have a conversation about. So yeah, BGS needs to have a conversation. If you're not willing to be and transcend what you've been, you're never going to have access. It's all a fantasy. It's all make believe. You better get used to your 85 and your 87. You better learn how to appreciate whatever they are because you're where they are. You're equals. Accept your equal. That's the conversation needs to happen. Accept your fucking equal. And with that, I'm done. I've made my confession tonight. My confession is that, contrary to what people might believe, I say again, go back and watch that video. I posted it. It talks about the agreements between a sub wife and a dominant husband. And that is the choice of life I chose a long time ago. Been living like that. Been living like that. And like I said, my relationship is mostly, it's not punishment, it's correction and reward. And so, you know, I have said certain things in this channel that probably do sound strange. Like this phone I'm talking on right now, I earned that phone. I sure did. I got a brand new phone. Y'all know how long ago I asked for the phone? Y'all know how long ago I asked for the phone? It's been a while. It's been a while. It was an iPhone 11. No, it was X. What's it called? XL? XR? I had an iPhone XR. They're on iPhone 16. Okay. So that's part of it is earning rewards, being rewarded. That's part of it. And it's patience and it's timing. It's a whole lot of shit. It goes deep. All I can tell y'all, go watch that video that I posted earlier today about this man and woman. And you can look at any, but I particularly like this one because they talk about not kinky shit. They talk about an actual power dynamic and how it benefits one person in one way and it benefits the other person in the other way. And between the two of them, it makes sense. And you can't microwave that. You can't microwave that. That takes time, it takes trust, it takes respect, it takes agreements. And it doesn't look stupid like y'all think it does online. Whispering bitches. These whispering bitches pretending like what Sweet Melody, that bullshit she does. Where's the proof in the pudding? That bitch ain't got no man, do she? She don't. All these whispering bitches. Look at the proof in the pudding. I'm just saying, real women act like real women, but the intimacy and the surrender between her and her dominant partner, you can't detect because you're not him. Okay, trust that. All right, y'all. I'm done. Nobody else pulled up. I appreciate you, BGS, for coming through. I appreciate you, Gabe, for coming through. And I'm going to continue doing my series, and it's going to be called Power Plays, Domination and Submission and Surrender. I'm going to do that series because I think it's worth exploring for those of us who can. For those of us who can. All right, Ashe. All right, y'all. Peace.